Hello? Can you all hear me? I'm just testing stuff out right now because I am not used to using OBS. I used to, or when I was streaming on Twitch, I was using Streamlabs, but it was such a headache trying to set it up. And considering I wanted to try and stream on YouTube for a moment or two, I decided, you know what? Let's try my regular recording software. You can hear me? Okay, that's good. I think I'm gonna tune down the audio just a little bit on the microphone. There we go. So, hi everyone. This is a little bit awkward, isn't it? So, Pyramid deserves a video, not Yunjin. I'm honestly surprised that Yunjin won, but then again, I'm gonna talk about that for a second. Hold on, let me hurt these. There we go. So, I normally am a YouTube guy. I am someone who likes to make a script and then record and then all of that fun stuff. I am not someone who's used to streaming. And because of that, I am not someone who likes to mentally prepare for streams. Like, I am someone who likes to write the script down, get all of my thoughts out on paper, and plan like 2-3 weeks ahead and then make the video. And then edit, and then my editing software crashes on me over and over again. Regardless though, if any of you have watched my latest video, you may notice it was a bit of a awkward video because it wasn't what I mentioned it was going to be. It wasn't the Yunjin video. No, the reason why is because I had a bit of a passion project that I had in my heart that I've been working on for like ever since the Skull Merchant rework came out, and I was just like, you know what? I want to get this video out. I want to do it. But then for some dumb reason, I opened up Twitter and I just see all the flame towards Skull Merchant. I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. But I already put so much work into making like a guide on how to play as and play against Skull Merchant that I went like, it's a bit of a waste to just throw the script out. So I ended up salvaging it in order to make the video that ended up coming out today. What do you think about the new perk Unforeseen? I actually really like it. I think that it will have a very unique identity in a very goofy Skull Merchant build. Skull Merchant? True, true. So there was a stealth build that I wanted to put in the video for... like, when I was recording games for the Skull Merchant video, I wanted to do 2 of each build that I normally run. 2 of the super serious Skull Merchant build that I go for, 2 for the goofy troll build that I normally run because I can pretty much run whatever I want on Skull Merchant. Players are just going to give up. And then there was one build that I really wanted to try out that I never did before, and that was a stealth Skull Merchant build. But every single time I tried to get any gameplay footage of it, people would just actively troll the games. You know, at the beginning of the video, there is a clip of a Gabriel and a Kate. They trolled my game, and they proceeded to flame me. They are the big reason why I ended up hiding every person's name in that video. And I feel bad too, because I don't normally hide people's names. Whenever someone does something mean or troll, I just remove it and just record a different game. But considering I was a bit on a time crunch with that video, I really want to just push it out and go like, okay, video out. Now I can focus on Yunjin again. Alright, let's see. Unforeseen with Bubba. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never played Bubba. I do not have any interest for Bubba. But I can definitely feel a bit of appreciation for it. Unforeseen will work with Dark Devotion to create 2 Terror Radius. Yes, it will work like that, actually. It will be even more goofy with unpublished manuscript Skull Merchant. Now you can have like a whole bunch of different Terror Radius across the map, from the drones, from Unforeseen, from Dark Devotion. It is going to be such a chaotic mess, and I am here for the chaos. It's going to be so much fun. Okay. So, let's talk about the Yunjin video. So I made a poll, as many of you know. And in that poll, I always put 2 survivors, 2 killers. And the person who won that poll was, funnily enough, Yunjin Lee. Now, I threw Yunjin in the last poll before. And what ended up happening was that I knew that she was going to be very popular again. Because Yunjin is a icon for Dead by Daylight. Like, when the moment that she dropped, everyone just immediately went like, okay, Yunjin is a bae. Literally everyone is just like, before anyone else, she is our queen and we must protect her. Yunjin won by 1%. It's interesting because when I put her in the last poll, she was actually very high up initially, and then she ended up dropping for Renato and Thalita. And I realized, okay, she's popular. People want me to talk about her. And like, okay, fair enough. I'll talk about her. But I want to throw her in the second poll because I want to throw a bit of Kindle into this poll. I wanted a bit of a spicy interaction to see what would happen. This latest poll was actually interesting because everyone pretty much had a chance to be number 1 each day. Like, first it was Steve, then it was Huntress, then it was tied between Pyramid Head and Yunjin, and then Yunjin got in the lead, then Pyramid Head got in the lead, and Yunjin ended up winning. And I'm going to be honest, I am kind of glad that Yunjin ended up winning, because I am already thinking of some goofy jokes for the introductions for the video. I'm not going to spoil anything, because why would I? Regardless, though, it's going to be interesting talking about Yunjin, because I think it'll be a bit more of a quieter one. Unlike Renato and Thalita with the teamwork perks, where I went a little bit more ballistic with some of the changes, such as with teamwork, I genuinely think a lot of Yunjin's perks are actually pretty good. But I will be talking about why players don't use them. As for the script, yeah, no, it's still in the I haven't even started the editing process. I am just so tired from the Skull Merchant video that I'm just like, okay, I sleep now. So me ending up streaming is a bit of a, that's a bit goofy. Her only good perk is Smash Hit. That is true, Smash Hit is good. However, I will talk about Smash Hit. Okay. So, survivor or killer? That's the question of the day. You know what? I'm in the mood for some killer. 1, because BP. And 2, because I want to play something that isn't Skull Merchant tonight. Because Skull Merchant is such a mood. You never have a real Skull Merchant game. I will play it if I get enough recommendations to play it. But for now, I think I'm going to play my favorite bird lady. I like Artist. Out of all the killers in this game, outside of Skull Merchant, I really like the board. She is a sweet bean. Alright. Now the question is, do I really want to run this build? You know what? Let's get rid of Pop. I don't need that cursed garbage. Get it out of here. Get rid of the top tier perk. Surely my game will not be obliterated in like 3 nanoseconds by generator. No at all. No. Okay, let's see. What do I really want to run? The stream is already going off in a great success with me not knowing what I wanted to. Imagine an impossible skill check doc with Undone. That is the worry that I have right now. So, actually, give me 1 second before I queue into a game. So, when it comes to all of the perks that ended up coming out with All Things Wicked, I think a lot of them are pretty good. I actually really like the direction of this chapter. I'm still a little bit sad about Unknown. I definitely think they could have made him a bit more of an interesting killer. However, I do like the gameplay. It does feel fresh. In my Skull Merchant video, I mentioned one of the big problems I personally had with but with Year 8 as a whole, is that I just think that all of the killers are just so boring. Like, it's not their faults. Like, my problem is more so... It's just... Their gameplay just feels samey. Unknown is a better nemesis? I wouldn't really say that. No, like... Nemi and Unknown have a lot of differences between the two. Are you... Jeremy, are you saying that Unknown is a B tier or Nemi is a B tier? I just want to clarify. You know what, let's bring Gift of Pain, why not? Okay, Unknown? I actually think Unknown is, unironically, an A-tier killer. I think if you understand how he works and how to play as him, he has enough in his kit to make him actually be a very high up there. If you have just a basic knowledge and don't know how he functions, I think he would be B tier. But if you are if they are in the hands of someone who understands that you can hit people through walls with his grenade launcher, then yeah, the killer is going to be a solid A in my books. Okay, so back to the perks of All Things Wicked. I think that overall the direction was very good. I think a lot of the perks were actually really lovely in All Things Wicked. I think the Invocation perk was honestly a very cool idea. I think that they could have pushed a little bit more with it. I think Weaving Shadows was a bit of a awkward perk imbalance. But from the changes that they've revealed that they're going to be doing to it, I think it'll actually become pretty solid. Will it be a good solo queue perk? Absolutely not. I think that perk is going to be garbage and everyone is going to give me gray hair before I turn 30. But I think it's a solid perk now. Okay. Next up. What are her other perks? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Strength in Shadows. I actually think Strength in Shadows is a very good perk. I think that the little buff that they made was really cute. The idea for Invocation is good, but the perk is trash for high MMR. It's a bit of a mixed bag. We'll need to see what happens with Invocation. I think this is going to be very much a, wait and see perk. Where it's like, I do not know if it's going to be busted on launch, or if it's going to just be a bit of a quiet, or more quiet thing. There we go. But, yeah, I think Invocation is a solid idea. Imagine Bubba finds the 4 survivors in the basement doing the Invocation. This is the weird thing. Although basement is a very scary place for a killer, you rarely see a killer actively want to go into the basement. Like, I'm being honest here. Outside of a Bubba who just wants to protect his chest, you never see any killer actively want to go in the basement unless they know someone is in there. So for the first 1 or 2 weeks, players are going to just run to the basement to see if someone's using Invocation. But afterwards, players are just gonna be like, eh, whatever. I'm not going to bother checking in there. It's a big reason why I think Strength in Shadows is actually going to be a very solid perk too. Because Strength in Shadows is just a better self-care. It has a faster healing speed, it pairs a little bit more nicer with other healing add-ons and perks, and the medkit. The catch is that you need to be in the basement to heal, but considering that most killers never want to be in the basement unless they know you're in there, I think Strength in Shadows is going to be good. Wicked is a bit of an awkward one, because when Wicked came out, the new perks will encourage killers checking the basement. It will encourage them to check the basement for 1 or 2 weeks, and then afterwards they'll be like, okay, why do I even want to be in the basement? Because it's just 2 or 3 perks that are basement themed for Survivor, and it's just like, it doesn't cause too much chaos. If I see that someone is self-caring, also hello again, Beryl. Nice to see you. I hope that you and Jeremy and everyone else in the stream are doing well. So, these perks are a bit weird because I know a lot of people are going to play it for the first 2 weeks and they're gonna be like, eh, these perks are absolute garbage. There is absolutely no way anyone's gonna be interested in it. But after like the first 2 or 3 weeks, where players are just going like, okay, I'm just kind of bored now of checking in the basement. I could have aimed that a little bit better. But after like a couple of moments trying it out. Oh, tag one. Alright, I'll talk about... My screen is frozen. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, I have no idea what just happened. Holy cow. I guess that's what I get for streaming a potato of a computer. I think I want to send the bird to just get it off cooldown. Oh, your screen froze again. Oh, there's Jeff. Ah. Almost. I am not doing too well with the birds, huh? Holy cow, my screen is just freezing 24/7. Okay, let me actually try and play this somewhat. Bird up? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it hits the Jeff. I didn't even realize. Ooh. Oh, he had life. Doesn't matter though. Hello, tomatoes. How are you today? Alright, let's see if I can get the cross map. They moved. I'm guessing Kindred, or they heard my terror radius. One of those two. Oh, hi. Alright, got the first hit. Oh, she went full on this direction. Interesting. Okay, I will get the hit though. Oh! Nice play. There we go. Does your screen usually freeze this much? No. My screen doesn't normally freeze this much. It's because I'm streaming and I have a potato of a computer. So this is not going to be fun for any of us. The dodge. Alright, there's the tag on Steve. If only I had Iron Maiden. Okay. Alright, that's a tag. And snap. Oh. Imagine Strength in Shadows plus Botany Knowledge. I think that's going to be the build for a lot of self-care players. Alrighty, let's send the bird. Yeah, I think someone is running Kindred. Attack him again. Good Jeff. That's good. Yep, he's now leaving the loop, which is what I want. Gotcha. Alright, it seems my computer is starting to cool down now, which is very good to see. My screen is actually not freezing on my side as much anymore. But who knows? Maybe that'll change. Okay. Yep. I think Alan is most likely running Kindred. Yep, that's a snipe. Oh, that makes me so happy. Was that a tag? No, but it was close. Send it. Oh, so close. Hi, Jill. I'm gonna shut down this loop. Now. Oh. I have to. Oh, they finished that gen in my face. The power play. I'd rather be M1 than Gang Swarm. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I think I can catch Steve off. Ah, so close again. Ah, screen froze for a second. Just for a second, though. Okay, they healed up. The gen's flying. It's mostly because I'm not running any slowdown. The only slowdown I have is Gift of Pain. If I was running like Pain Res, Paw, or Deadlock, stuff like that, then obviously I would be inherited longer. 4 frames per second, true. 3, 2, 1. I was a tad bit late on that. Send it. Tag. Send it. Ooh, miss. That connects. That's a tag. Oh! Oh well. Strength in Shadows, Body Knowledge, Desperate Measures, and Resilience equals heal build. Yeah, honestly, I could even see like other healing perks. Regardless though, I am very happy to see some ideas flowing with Strength in Shadows. Let's see, let me catch up on some of the things. Territorial Imperative be the new best perk for basement. Let's see. After Yunjin's video, who's going to be the next Why No One Uses? I haven't actually put a thought in it yet. Mostly I put a lot of focus on the character in particular. Yeah, distortion. Shame. So, when it comes to Why No One Uses, I list 4 characters that I think would be interested in talking about. And then I'm like, okay, I'll talk about one of these 4. I place it in the polls. Let's see who wins. And whoever wins, that's where all the focus goes into. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can try and make the stream just a little bit more, you know, not freeze in my face. Alright, let's try that. But yeah, after Yunjin, I have no idea who's going to be next. It's mostly just... I make the video on the character, then I give it like a week, and I'm like, okay, these next 4 characters, yes. I'll talk about one of these for surely. Okay. Polls tied between Yunjin and Pyramid Head. It really did for a while, and then Yunjin ended up winning. And I am very happy to see Yunjin win. Because it's funny. Pyramid Head, please. Don't worry, I'll consider putting Pyramid Head in the next poll. Okay. Let's play. Let me. Me also want Pyramid Head. Okay, thank you for the knowledge barrel. I'll keep that in mind. Alright. You know what? Since all of you are ballistic for the man with the greatest cake in the stratosphere, let's play some Pyramid Head. I actually like playing Pyramid Head too, which is funnily enough. I just don't main him, which is weird. Like, I have no idea why, I just never really was in the mood to main Pyramid Head. Let me check something. Pyramid Head with I'm all ears. Honestly, it's not that bad, actually. Pyramid Head with I'm all ears. Let's see. Lobby theme? Yeah, honestly, the Silent Hill lobby theme is always just a dream. Okay. Let's not focus on the build that I'm running. Nowhere to Hide is a bit of a mixed bag for me. I like it, I understand the idea, but Nurse has burned so much trauma into me that I'm like, yeah, no. Not in the mood. Okay. Let's go with this. Why not? Also, real quick, I am going to be turning on monetization for the video because I would like to make a bit of the coin, if you understand. But I'm going to put it on just like YouTube will insert the ads for me at random times. So sorry if it disrupts the gameplay. I have absolutely no idea how to start ads from my side. Anyways, back to all things Wicked. The killer perks are interesting. I like Unforeseen. I think that perk is lovely. I like Unbound. It's a bit of a goofy perk. It's a bit of a goofy goober perk, but I think that it has a chance to be okay. I know Ottstarva has his qualms with the perk, and I understand it. If we get too many haste perks, we could end up leading into a bit of a haste meta, where every single build has one perk, which is just a haste manipulator. It kind of happened with MFT if we have to sadly remember that meta. Anyways. Going out of the chaos that is haste manipulation, then we get Unbound, or Undone. I think Undone is a bit of a weird perk. It's not good in any build. But in that one random build that Doctor likes to run, it has the chance to cause so much trauma. People don't like impossible skill check Doctor. But I am sure that someone out there is going to run an impossible skill check Doctor and then discover a brand new 3-gen Skull Merchant tech that utilizes... Oh, my screen froze for a second. Okay, I'm back. But, yeah. Heck? Alright, whatever. Regardless, though, I think that it's going to be a bit of a weird perk. Okay, there you are. Let's draw a trail over here, shutting down that loop. Wide. There you are. Surprised I missed. Never have group routine. Play with your boot. Yeah, the freezing is kind of something that's just going to end up happening. Oh, hi, Jeff. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sorry. My computer is a super potato, so we're gonna have to live with the trauma. Alright, let's vault that. There we go. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Every generator is just blowing up. Well, at least Thrilling told me that I don't have to worry about generators being worked on. Thank you, Thrilling. Very cool. Okay, someone is upstairs. I think that's Dwight. Yep, that was Dwight. Hi. Oh, he's running Boyle over. The sicko. Weird, I thought I heard something. Oh well. I'm guessing that they're on that generator over there or that one there. Yep. Peg. And this is why I love Floods of Rage. Wow, she made a lot of distance. I think she has Overcome or something. Or Sprint Burst, one of those two. I didn't get popped. Okay, Nia and Jeff are condemned. Hi, Jeff. I don't want to tunnel Jeff, but whatever. Ooh. I messed up on that one, actually. Oh, he's running distortion like every other Jeff. Okay. Hide. This poor Dwight is not having a fun time. But then again, he's running no mid or boil over. I don't really care. Okay. Grilling tells me no one's on any generator. That's actually really nice. I know that generator had some progress, maybe that one and that one. Oh, I see Jeff all the way over there. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see him. Wait. There he is. I saw blood. I guess he used a styptic or a syringe. That's probably what happened. Gotcha. Alright, let's put him on the hook. Okay, I know two people are on the other side of the map. This gen has the most progress. So I'm gonna kick it. Get them popped up. Strange, I thought I heard footsteps. Yep. This gen has so much progress. There you are. Tagged again. Yeah, it's sprint first. Oh, Floods of Rage, how I love you so. Alright, I'm gonna slug her on the floor for a second. Hi, Nia. Alright. Hi, Dwight. Alright. What? I thought Dwight was smart. Weird. Oh well, he's dead. Kate is on the floor. That generator is blocked, and I saw Jeff. Jeff is hiding in the corner all the way over there. Ooh. I thought I was going to be able to tag him. Regardless though, I want to pop this gen. You know you can hit through stairs like that. If it's a bit of a flatter collision, there's a bit of height to it. Alright. I just want to do that. Pick this generator. I wonder where Nia ran off to. They might be on this gen. That one and that one have the most progress. Yeah, there she is. Gotcha. It's a little mean to tunnel this Cade out, but considering there's one gen left, I don't really care. Okay, this gen and that gen are being worked on. Thank you for the info, Thrilling. This gen had the most progress, so immediately I'm gonna run over there as fast as I can with my little legs to pop it. There we go. And there is the entity telling me, yeah, you can't kick the gens like that 24/7. It's going to get annoying for the survivor side. We don't want to remind them of chess. Just want to tag her like so. Honestly, I have no idea where this Jeff and Nia are. They are playing it like literal stealth pros right now. There you are. I saw you, Nia. Going to kick the gen, get a bit of progress out. Then I'm just gonna follow this. Why the... Nice. I'm gonna follow her. I wanna get this down. She's gonna love Papa's so good, it really is though. I'm not a big fan of Paulina. Good attempt, good attempt. Gotcha. I honestly wanted to pick her up. I didn't want to do that. Alright, insta-hook. Alright. Thank you, Thrilling Tremors. I now know they're on this generator, which means it has a lot of progress. Actually, completely done. I think I turned a little bit too much there. Where did Jeff run off to? Is he in the locker? No. Interesting. Well, back to the Nia I go. Yep, because that's where they ran off to. Nia had adrenaline. I'm not surprised. There she is. She's out of position. She's exhausted. Gotcha. Actually, I'm gonna pick her up instantly and put her on hook. Because I don't want RNG messing with me and spawning her somewhere over there that they can just fetch. I'm sure Jeff, the little stealth pro that he is going to be... Oh, there you are. I was hoping to land on the floor fast enough in order to get the hit. Oh well, good play from all of them. Let's see. Didn't it? Let's see. Alright, Jeff. Sadly, he makes enough distance that I won't be able to get him. This Nia, though, I will be able to get. Okay. So I did get the 2K after all. I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting that. Alright, that was actually really funny. I'm sure Nia is punching the air right now. Why did she try to go for that gate? Why didn't she go for the other one? Oh well. Should have heel teched. Even if he heel teched, he would have gone down and I would have gone on him because they both were condemned. Because in the end, I was going to get one of the two. They were far enough from the line that you would have been able to get the tormented Mori. Okay. That was actually really funny. I'm sure that Nia is not very happy at the moment. Let's swap this archive challenge out. That's all survivor stuff. Okay, let's play some Doc. Why not? Everyone's favorite Zappy boy. Holy moly, 23. Let's see. Real quick, I just want to see. Yeah, whatever. So though, how's everyone's day going so far? I know that for me it's been pretty boring. I've mostly just been hibernating, as it were. After making the Skull Merchant video, I've just kind of fallen asleep. I'm like, yeah, no. Time to wait a week before I make my next video again. And even then, that one's gonna take, like, who knows how long, because editing, or no, not even editing, just me being lazy. By the way, how's the freezing going so far? Has it finally started to die down? Or is it still just really bad? Okay. The freezing is gone, I think. Hopefully it's gone. I'm sure it'll return, but I think my computer has finally awoken. It's dying slowly. Better than dying immediately. I will take that. Okay, so closing thoughts on All Things Wicked. I think the chapter is good. Killer is really cool. Their kit has a lot of flexibility in it to make them actually a lot more fun and engaging to play as and against, you know, compared to the other two. The perks are pretty decent. I think that balance-wise they could have been handled a bit better, and from the looks of things they are being handled better, which I am very happy about. Then there is the Survivor. I don't really care. It's just another skin over the Survivor model. But I know a lot of people are happy for Sable. Which, good for them. It's just another nightmare to torment me in my videos. And the new map looks cool. I think that the theater is beautiful. I think the statue is a little bit over the top. Like, I would have gone the movie theater and the parking lot, and I would have been fine with that. I just think that the statue included is also a little bit weird. But lore-wise, it's pretty cool. Sable's going to be the new Fang. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she did end up becoming the new Fang. Okay. So I know they either spawn there or there. My terror radius should be big enough that I'll tag someone now. Wow, I tagged everyone. That's pretty sick. Gotcha. swing in order to get a little bit of distance on her. I could have actually walked into this one. Alright, I'm gonna leave her because I hear someone upstairs. Oh, she has Calm Spirit. Okay, Surge is helping me out. That explains why I didn't hear two people scream. I just heard the thing. The things. Did I hear both of them? Freezing still persisting? For Pete's sake. I don't think there's anything I can really do to stop it. Mostly because potato of a computer. Alright, that tags her, meaning that everyone else is somewhere else. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna leave her alone. Oh, I'm mostly going in for the madness challenge. Okay, I thought I heard the gears turning on that gen. Calling Sable just another Survivor skin is crazy, but it's kind of true. Like, if you think about it, every single Survivor is just a skin of each other. Like, there are some differences, obviously. Like, when it comes to, like, audio and... When it comes to, like, audio and sometimes movement, I know movement is a very important thing for some players. But, like, it's true. Like, it's just it's a skin over a mesh, pretty much. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm trying, Beryl. I keep telling the freezing to go away on the other side of my room. It's not listening. But, like, I'm being honest here. When it comes to survivors, they are very much just a mesh of one another. There are some differences, like with lore, with audio, with movement, especially with movement. But... Oh, hi. This thing did not know where it was because of the stressing. Holy cow. But, like, there are some important differences between the survivors, I will admit. They're not just skins of each other, they have important lores and characters. Like, it's a big reason why I love Patty, and why I love Zarina, and why I love Yoichi, and why I love everyone else. It's just when it comes to Sable, I'm not the biggest fan. Like, realistically, I am fine with Sable. I have no qualms with her. Cheryl is unique and cute. That is true, she is unique and cute. Yeah, no, these Calm Spirit gamers are making it so hard to tell if I'm hitting them. Thank goodness Dr. laughs when he shocks someone. Else I would be having such a terrible time. Okay. But, like, there are some important differences between the survivors, but at the end of the day, when it comes to gameplay, they are very much just character meshes of each other. Okay. Let's go with the static blast. Honestly, I don't want to I got a pallet out anyways. I'm sorry for this thing. I know tunneling is a very mean-spirited thing. But I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea where the person who unhooked her is. And considering two of the people here are running Calm Spirit. Yeah, no, I'm not having a fun time. I promise to leave her alone next time. I promise, I promise. Okay, that gen is regressing because of Surge. This gen has a little bit of progress. I'm gonna kick it. I'm guessing they're somewhere over there. Wow, they aren't. Interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I have to run back there. But I'm not gonna chase after Fang, who I see is running. Oh no, it's the other one. Okay, I can go after this Fang. I have no qualms with that. Alright, I think I make this hit. Yep. She's gonna have to vault it. Oh! The Illusion value at its fullest. I miss this perk so much on Skull Merchant. Or not perk, but like the effect on Skull Merchant. It was so much fun when survivors vaulted with a claw trap and they get hit with the Illusion effect. Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see her, but I know that she's here. Hi. I bet that she's also running Distortion too. It's very common with Oh, hi. Honestly, I really got greedy and I really want this Illusion's fault again. Oh well. I almost got punished for being greedy. I'll remember next time. Okay. One person's out of the game. They've only gone 2 generators. I think we're doing pretty okay. That tells me that there's some people this way. I'm gonna waddle my way over here. And then do this. 2 people over here. It's the Fangs. Hi. Oh, she has Urban. The heck was that hit? I was going for a lunge and the game decided, yeah, no, XD. You're gonna actually go for a quick attack. I'm thankful it actually connected. But like, that was really dumb. What was that? Okay, where on earth is this Nia? Okay, this gen is being worked on. Oh, hi, Nia. That's where you are. Oh, this poor Nia. I feel so bad for her. She doesn't know how to play against a doctor. I'm not even a good doctor. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This Fang, I'm gonna let her go. Because I feel so bad for her. Because she got Calm Spirit number 1, Calm Spirit number 2 over there. Hi. I'm just gonna goof around with her. I'm just gonna shock for some VP. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna let her wiggle out, and then I'm gonna let her go. Because this game, I feel so bad for the Fangs. They got Calm Spirit Gamer number 1, Calm Spirit Gamer number 2 over there. And they really weren't doing much. I wonder if the hatch will open here. Is she just running to comp corner? Oh, so bad, so bad. reckless edge for her. Wait, I have no way out! Is this Fang just being dumb? Like, come over here, Fang. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna hide in the corner of the map then. Okay, there. Hopefully there's enough time, and No Way Out doesn't mess her up. Let's hope and pray she's a wake up gamer. Okay. Is there any other questions, though? For me in chat? Do you have anything that you want to say to me, though? But going back to the discussion about characters, I will say, when it comes to someone like NPC behavior, yeah, honestly, I feel bad for the Fang, but then again, considering what was going on, maybe I should actually down her, so that way there's enough time for... No, I think she'll have enough time to get out. At least I hope so. Can you do it while no one uses on Cheryl's perks? Maybe, at some time, but not now. Because in the case of Cheryl, it's weird. We got Repressed, which has always just been a weird techie choice. Where some players are like, Repress is good, Repress is great. No, open this. Why not? Open it! No! I don't want to see you go! We need to look away, chat. What we have seen is not a good thing. I really should have actually downed her. I'm sorry, Fang. That's so sad. I really want... She gave up! This Fang. I wanted you to kill. Okay. You know what? Chad Fang. Right there. I rarely see Fangs like this. Chad Fang over there. Okay. Back to Cheryl, though. It's a bit weird. We have the techie choice, which is, Repressed Alliance. Which is actually a very good perk. It's just a bit weird in how it's used. Then we have Blood Pact. Yeah, honestly, the Fang really was a sweetie. Mad respect to that Fang player. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Soul Guarder is her only good perk? No, I think Repress is actually her better perk. Soul Guard is a bit of a weird one. I don't know how to feel about Soul Guard, because I've never really been a big fan of perks that allow you to just pick yourself up. Like, whenever I play Survivor, I rarely run Unbreakable, but then I get that one game against, like, a Twins, or a Nemi, or a Wesker, or anything, and I'm just like, man, I wish I had Unbreakable. But Soul Guard does have its niche uses, I will agree. Even then, it's pretty mid. Yeah. Like, I feel like Cheryl's perks are a bit weird. I do like them, though. They are a lot better than a lot of the perks that I have talked about in previous videos. Okay. Speaking about mid, let's play Nemi. who isn't actually mid, but I think he's middle when it comes to balance. I think he is the ruler when it comes to balancing the game. Like, if you were to make a tier list on each killer, Nemi would be right in the middle. Because he has some good qualities to him, but he also has some really bad qualities to him too. And I feel bad for Nemi because of that, because I want him to be good. He's a sweet bean. Look at that goofy goober smile. He's happy to be here. Nemesis is B. I agree. He's the middle of B. He's a solid B tier killer in the middle of B. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Let's take a slowdown. Why not? So though, I actually really like playing as and against Nemi. He's a really fun killer to play against. Especially compared to the other Ari character. Nemesis. I agree. He is a Nemesis. But he is our Nemesis. After this game, I'm going to change the stream title, and then I'm going to do a bit of a goofy idea for the stream. I'm thinking I'm going to make a goofy tier list that I think I want you guys to hear my thoughts on. Because I feel inspired. I love tier lists. Me too, Beryl. It's not like it's been overused for the last, like, 20 years. Or not 20, like, 5 years. No, no, no. Clearly, it is still a very functional form of content. Okay. Do the zombies tell me anything? No, not really. The only generator... This is so weird. Where is everyone? There we go. Oh, the discordance value. 3 people. Oh, this is fun. Aw. Even then, I don't think I would have made it. There we go. Let's leave her. I see Ace or Felix, one of those two. Discordance again. Norman! No, Norman. He tried. That's all that matters. Gotcha. That's here too. Norman! Norman, you're too slow. I need to run speed add-ons. Gotcha. Can I see you, Felix? Let's do that in return. Is he running here? Yep. Gotcha. He tried it. He really did try. That's the gem with the most progress. Oh, for a second I thought I saw a survivor. It's Norman. 36 more zombies to the map? No, that's more of a nerf. Oh my goodness, Nia! No! That's camping. You can't do that. You'll trigger the anti-camping system. Nia was being so mean, guys. How could she do such a thing? Alright, hit the Ada. Oh, the heck was that? The heck was that? What's going on this whole segment? Okay, so I guess... Oh, I hear them. Okay, so I guess, okay, I hear Felix. Oh, I see him now. Oh, that's the Rebecca. Okay, honestly, I have no idea what's going on. This whole segment, my brain has just kind of been inflicted with the Scarlet Rot. Gotcha. Minor inconvenience. Yes. Minor inconvenience. Okay. But in the sense... Oh, there you are, Felix. Where on earth were you? Oh, he's above me. There you are. Hi. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even want to know what that... Oh, hi, Ace. Okay. Does anyone know who's my last pain res deck? I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been keeping track after the Tentacle Whip. Gotcha. Norman! Or no, Nia. I'm guessing Ada is my last pain res stack. That's cool, Felix. I don't really care, though. Also, I don't think this Ace cares either. Okay, yeah, it's the Ada. Regardless, I don't even need to. I can literally just chill out. I'm straight up lounging right now. I got like 6 hooks. No one has done a gen yet. I can definitely tell that Ada is probably the better player than most of the rest of the team. Swag value! But I don't see her aura because of distortion. What a surprise. Gonna break this power here. She's made a lot of distance, though. Distortion is telling me about that gen. I don't really care, though. Yep. I'm guessing group thyself considering the gen was really low. There we go. Okay, I think, yeah, that's Rebecca. Alright, last pain rest stack, here we go. Okay, that was my last hook too. Oh, nice. Oh, I see Felix. Yeah, no, I'm going to get... no, actually, Felix's death hook. I'll play with Ada for a bit. Why not? Big boy Nemi? Yes, big boy Nemi. Jeez Louise, this... Rebecca has made so much distance. What the heck was that? Was she trying to window attack me? Ooh. Gotcha. Regardless. Ooh, they didn't fake that. Okay, there we go. Surprised I'm not going in chase with her. There we go. Gotcha. Hi, Felix. Oh, Rebecca is dead? Oh, that's a shame. Okay, I'll leave Felix. Oh, this ace is not happy. They are not happy at all. Oh, no. That's okay. I'll hook him near the gen, and I'll only punch this gen. What the heck? He's dead too? Then who is? Okay, it's Ada then. For Pete's sake, what do you want, Felix? How on earth was that a miss? How on earth was that a hit? Yeah. Go, my zombie creature. Yeah, no, I'm letting Ada go. This game was just... I don't even know what was going on. It was a clown fiesta of a game. Goodbye, Mia. You will not be missed. Beryl, what do you mean by poros? Okay, I know Ada is up here. I can hear her cleansing a totem. Cleanse the totem. Yes. Cleanse it! But what do you mean by poros, Beryl? What does poros mean? Okay, I'll give you a punch, and then you can go. I'm gonna close it, but she can't open the exit gates. I'm not running no way out. So we won't have the Fang situation happen again. Okay, Ada is somewhere over there. What does this Ada want? I'm giving her gate. Is she running power struggle? Is that what she wants? Okay, no. Like, what is this Ada doing? Is she okay? She wants me to get the kill on her again. Okay. What's up with all of the survivors feeling starving to die? Like, the heck is this? Normally survivors like getting the hatch and getting to escape. Is it Killer Appreciation Day or something in Dead by Daylight? Oh, it's a SpongeBob quote. Okay, I see now, Barrel. Very goofy. Yeah, apparently, Barrel. Like, the heck? I refuse live if my teammate die. Thank you. Okay. Good luck next, I guess. Honestly, another thumbs up for this Ada. What is going on with the survivors today? Like, jeez Louise. Okay. Let me just quickly do some goofy stuff real quick. Okay. I am back. After fiddling with my computer for a little bit. So, if my computer stops freezing for a moment, and that's why. Oh no. We're on to a great start already, I can tell. With Opera not wanting to work. Okay, there we go. So give me a second while I put on some copyright-free music. So that way YouTube doesn't go out headhunting me. Maybe a little higher. Just a smidge. Okay. Let's fiddle with the tier list real quick. At the tippy top, we have my all-time favorites. Oh wait, hold on. The music is now a little bit too loud. There we go. So, we're going to be doing a bit of a fun thing. We're going to be making a tier list on all of my favorite killers to play as and against. And also, did I change it? Yes, I did. The problem is I don't know if my stream has finally caught up to me or not. There we go. Okay, it has caught up. That's good. Okay, all-time favorites. An enjoyable experience. Average. Not the greatest. Mozart's music? I mean... who is it by? 14 most famous classical and modern piano masterpieces. Okay, fair enough. So, close to being Mozart music, but not exact. Okay, and then D. I loathe you. Alright. I think the titles of all of the stuff on this tier list make sense. So at the tippy top, we have my all-time favorites. These are all the killers that I love to play against. Every single killer that makes me smile. That just brings so much joy that no matter how they play as the killer, most of the time I will be pretty happy. Then we have an enjoyable experience. These are the games where I have some enjoyment with the character. I like it. But that being said though, if the killer does do something rather obnoxious... Also, ew, why are these ads? That being said though, if the killer does something really obnoxious, I am not gonna have a fun time. But I will still be okay with the game. Then we have average. Just an average game. I'm not happy about it, I'm not depressed about it. I'll live with it. Not the greatest, this is mostly killers where I'm just like, eesh. I hate going against all the killers. Honestly, all of them should go here too. I agree with you, Beryl. Clearly, I do not like any of the killers either. But not the greatest is just... I don't really enjoy it. But at the same time, there will be some moments where I can find some enjoyment. I get why people like playing against them. And then I loathe you, very simply. No. I do not like playing against this character. If I see this character, I know I'm going to have a terrible time. No matter what I do, no matter how I play, I will not have a fun time. Alright, let's start things off with the mascot of Dead by Daylight. Also, let me move my microphone a little bit. There we go. Back to normal. Okay. So, Mr. Macmillan. Mr. Evan Macmillan. I would say he's pretty average. I'm gonna be honest, Trapper games are kind of a mixed bag. You'll either get a really fun Trapper game, where you are stomping on Trapper, but at the same time he still has a few nasty tricks up his sleeve that he pulls out, and then he throws out hands, and you're like, oh no, the Trapper's actually got hands! And then you end up getting 1 or 2k. But there are also the games where you get a Jeff on your team, and he just runs into every single trap, and I will talk about Jeff again on another character, because it happened to me today, and I am still angry about it. Also, okay, good. I have to be careful with Spotify, because I don't... For Pete's sake, what's up with all the commercials? Anyways. Back to Trapper, though. If you get that random build that just steps on every single bear trap, and it's just like, why? Do you not look at the floor? Do you not know who we're playing against? Then immediately it's annoying. It's mostly a mental space with Trapper, and it's a mental space with another killer, who I will talk about much later. On to Wraith. I actually really like Wraith games. Wraith is a good boy. I think that he is a simple-to-play killer, and he has a simple-to-understand gameplay. And at the end of the day, that is pretty nifty. He has some really fun add-ons to play against, and a lot of Wraith players are actually pretty chill. I know that there are some which literally just hit and run, or they are... No, not Bills. It's always Jeffs for me. I never see a Bill anymore, Beryl. They are an invasive species in Dead by Daylight now. But yeah, I never really get mad at a Wraith game. Like, sometimes they play in a really mean way, but I'm fine with it. Like, I understand their logic behind it. I'll get over it. Then we have Hillbilly. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like Hillbilly. And this is even before the rework. I've never really been a big fan of Hillbilly. Because a lot of the times when you play against a Hillbilly, they just rev the chainsaw behind your back. And 9 times out of 10 it's going to connect. But with the recent rework, it will always hit, because the curve rate is, as what the hip kids would call, a bit ludicrous. That being said, though, there are some fun moments with a Hillbilly. Like, there are some fun Hillbillies out there, but there are a lot of really mean Hillbillies that... I just don't like playing against him. Hillbilly's not enjoyable anymore. I never really enjoyed Hillbilly. That's the problem. Like, I know that there was a lot of people that were on the legacy identity of, like, there are only 2 Hillbilly players out there, so clearly it is the greatest thing to play against. No, not really. I never really liked playing against Hillbilly. Like, I understand the appeal. I know some people really like to play against Hillbilly. He's just not it for me. Nurse. I would put Nurse all the way down here. Like, 1,000 hours before in my games. But nowadays, I personally put her over here. No kids are out there saying ludicrous anymore. Honestly, probably. But in my mind, hip kids would say stuff like that. Anyways, with Nurse. 1,000 hours before I got 2k hours in Dead by Daylight. I would say Nurse was my least favorite killer to play against. I personally think that Nurse is the most unskilled killer in this game. Actually, no, that's a lie. When it comes to Nurse, I am not a big fan of her. I think that she is very boring to play as an against, and it feels really unfun, especially if you're up against a really good Nurse player. It's just like, why even bother playing? She's just going to teleport on your head and going to kill you, because she has 4 info perks, or quad slowdown. Hold on one moment. There we go. So, yeah, I just don't really like Nurse, but the reason why I don't put her down here anymore is because I got more hours into the game, and I started to understand how to play against her more. And I will say it's really fun counteracting an average nurse player. If it isn't someone running quad slowdown, or they are literally the 10k hour nurse that you fear in your nightmares, I really like playing against a nurse. But when it's that one 10k hour nurse with the quad slowdown or the quad info, and they just play in the most mean and nonsensical way, I just really do not like it. Like, if we didn't have all the nurses who had a ego the size of Saturn, she might be over here. But yeah, I'm keeping her here. Myers. I do not like Myers. Myers is the most boring killer to me, outside of another one, which I'll talk about. I do not like Myers because of tombstones. The tombstone add-ons are really, really boring. Because it's like, oh, I get to stalk a guy, and now I'm able to insta-kill another person who who played so well. They stayed out of my vision, they looped me for like 10 minutes, but the moment that I saw them and they were in my range, I pressed my right click, I pressed my left click, and oh! They're out of the game instantly. I think that any ability to just insta-kill is pretty boring, unless it is well-earned. And Myers does not feel like a well-earned killer. And there are a lot of really mean add-ons for solo queue. There are the Tombstone add-ons, which I already mentioned. Alright, I can put the music back on. There are the Tombstone add-ons. There are the Scratched Mirror Myers add-ons, which you will always know you're playing against it if you get Leary's Treatment Theater, which I really do not like Treatment Theater after the trauma that was Myers. And I really do not like the Perma Tier 3 with the Iridescent Tombstone, yeah. Or, is it Tombstone? No, it's the hair add-on. The eerie hair. Regardless though, I really do not like Myers. Plus, there's not really much you can do. You just stand behind a wall and hope and pray that there isn't a gap big enough for him to see you through. That's it. Like, people complain about Skull Merchant counterplay. Myers counterplays you stand behind a wall and hope and pray he doesn't walk at you at tier 3. Have fun. Hag. Honestly, not the greatest. A lot of Hag players I play against tend to be really mean. Like, a lot of their community is just really salty. And fair enough, they have had it rough, especially with balance. And the community just not recognizing they are people. So fair enough that Hag gets treated like this. But at the same time, there are some really mean add-ons to play against Hag. Like, she's getting buffed soon, and she still has the Shackled Chains, which is the silent phantasm traps, which are just really not fun. But then again, fun is a subjective term. But this is a video or a stream with opinion, so what a surprise. Still though, there are some fun Hag games every once in a while. It's better than Myers down there, but eesh. I'm gonna put Doctor all the way up here. I think he's an enjoyable experience. If you know how to play against a Doctor, he is going to feel so sad. Because without detonation delay add-ons, without any add-ons to make him play the game, without proper perks, he is a hollow shell of a character. And I feel so sad for Doctor. I am so happy he's getting buffed. That being said though, I will admit that there are some annoying games, that's why he's not all the way at my all-time favorites, but even then, I wouldn't really put him up there. I think he's an enjoyable experience overall. That being said though, in a solo queue environment I would put him a little bit more than average, but this is my overall thoughts and opinions, so enjoyable experience. Huntress, average. It's the same with Nurse, where if you go up against a good Huntress, you are not gonna win. Like, she's going to trebuchet across the map and double tap you. And there are so many hyper well-skilled Huntress players out there who will break you. But unlike someone like Nurse, who it just feels really unskilled to play against, I have to admit when it comes to Huntress, she is... It is so uncommon to get double tapped. Oh, ads are coming up. I'll wait for you guys. Luckily, no ads for you. And it seems like you are the only viewer, so I'll continue on then, for now. Back to Huntress, though. I really like a skilled Huntress because it shows how much time they've put into their craft. Oh, YouTube Premium. Oh, you rich child, you. Okay. So, in the sense of Huntress, I really, really like skilled Huntress players because it shows they have spent a long time learning all of the trick shots, all of the cool stuff on how to trebuchet throw or orbital, whatever you call it. Like, they have spent a long time trying to get skill expression out with learning all of the cross maps. And when you face against a Huntress like that, it is honestly so impressive when they kill you. Because it's like, holy cow, that actually was the most scariest experience, and I am happy about it. Now that being said though, there are some times where she gets annoying. For example, the fact that her hatchets are the size of beach balls. That's not really fun. But, which is why I'm keeping her an average. At the end of the day, I like her. I think that she's pretty solid as a character. Bubbles. Eesh. I would put him in average too. I don't really feel anything for Bubba. You either get a good game or a bad game against him. There are definitely some skilled Bubbas, but I have yet to see them. But whenever you get a Bubble game, or a Bubbles game, I can't help but smile, because he is a sweet bean. I don't like Freddy. I don't feel the same way for him. Because, what can you do as Freddy? You plop a puddle down, and that's your power. There's nothing really interesting you can do as Freddy. Then there's the Dream Palettes, but unless you lack object permanence, in that case you're less than 3, he's not really fun. Like, there's so little you can do as Freddy. And every single time I play against a Freddy, they always run like they are the definition of a comp player who just are bored by running Nurse and Blight and stuff like that. They want to run quad slowdown, Noed attached to, it's hiding underneath his fedora. But it's just not fun. Like, there's so little to Freddy. Alright. Like, I can't really say much about Freddy, because there's nothing. He's just a hollow shell of a character. His rework didn't help him at all. Just made him more boring. Piggy! I love Miss Piggy. There are some mean Piggy players out there, I will admit. But when it comes to Pig, I cannot help but smile when I play against a Pig player. Because they are someone who understands...
Hey Ava, how do I start a savings habit?
Start shaving rep.
Okay, back to Piggy. I really like her. She is a very fun killer to play against, and she used to be my first main. So I have a bit of a special connection when it comes to Pig. However, a lot of Pig players are really sweet. There are some Pig players out there who are just like, I will let you boop the snoot just this once. Honestly, puddles are just Clown Bottle but weaker, pallets are just Doctor Illusions, and everyone has a teleport. Especially in this day and age, everyone has a teleport. But back to Miss Piggy. I love her. Like, everything about Pig is just so cute to me. I love the bear traps, I love the ambush, and with the buffs, the ambush is actually going to feel like a proper threat. The players are a bit of a mixed bag, I will admit. There are some players who actively tunnel and slug. But then again, Pig is a D-tier killer, so you're kind of expecting some of these elements of her playstyle to come out, especially since they need to keep up with Miss Comp Spirit and Mr. Blight over here, who is attempting to go pro. Let me reduce the audio a little bit again. At the end of the day, though, even if a Pig ends up playing in a mean way, I get it. Especially if they're getting rushed. In the end of the day, though, I still love Pig. Playing against her is such a fun time for me. When I see those jigsaw boxes, I can't help but smile about it. Mr. Clown. I do not like Clown. I know a lot of people like to compare Clown to Skull Merchant because of their slows, but in the case of Clown, I do not like him, because every time I play against a Clown, I always get bottle spammed with the purple gas. And I'm gonna be honest, it is not fun getting spammed with the purple gas cloud and it just perma slows you 24/7. And then you get one shot because, oh haha XD, he was running Redhead's Pinky Finger. It's not a fun time. And the problem is, oh, if it was just like one or two Clown players, I would put them at like not the greatest or average. But no, it's every single Clown player I go against. It's Redhead Pinky Finger, they camp you on the hook, and the moment you come off, they kill you with a Rancor or a Mori. Like, I'm sure, and the problem is that I can see the skill expression in Clown. Like, you can do some cool stuff. Like, you can throw the bottles high up in the trees to make the dissipation of the fog a lot more wide. You can do some cool stuff with the yellow cloud. But most of the time when you play against Clown, it's just purple bottle spam. And that's it. Hello, Dead by Daylight player. Clown is not fun to go against, but it's fun to play as. Skull Merchant is not fun at all. Oh, we're going to talk about Skull Merchant soon. Don't worry, Dead by Daylight player. I have my own feelings if you watched my video. Alright. If demo ain't at the top, I'm going to cry. Oh, sweetheart. You are not going to have a fun time then. Okay, Lady Spirit. Spirit is average for me. Luckily, I have been blessed with a proper headset, and my ears were, one of my ears were clogged, so I couldn't hear out of my right ear for like 2.5 weeks. However, it is unclear now, and spirits are crying, because I can hear her phase walk. And I will admit, for most players, Spirit is such an accessibility issue that it's such a pain. And I get it. I feel bad for players who don't know how to play against Spirit. Or they know how to play against her, but they can't tell where she is because of hearing. Or because of improper gear. And I feel bad for them for that. But in the case of Spirit, she's pretty average. There are some games where you play against an okay Spirit, and it's not the end of the world. But then again, there are also the comp spirits that run quad slowdown. Or there's the one that has the exposed build where you're just like, ugh. But I'm pretty average with Spirit. She's okay. I'll live with a Spirit game, and I'll have some enjoyment every once in a while. Legion. I love Legion. Legion, Legion, Legion. Legion. Legion is such a goofy killer, because everyone constantly complains about him and says he is the most unfun, uncounterable killer in the game. If you complain about the mending simulator, you know what? Fair enough. I get you. No one likes to mend 24/7. It is a pretty boring part of his kit. But the fact that you're able to do so many goofy things, and the fact that Legion has to go after multiple targets instead of just tunneling one guy out. Because if he decides to tunnel one guy out, he's playing an M1 killer. If you want to play Legion properly, you have to go after everyone. And that is why I really like Legion, because he has a lot of fun add-ons. He has a lot of fun gameplay to him, and the counterplay is there. And if you understand how he works, and he's pretty simple to get, you're going to have a great time playing against him. If you don't like the mending simulator, fair enough, but I really like playing against Legion. I have an enjoyable experience against Plague. Plague used to be one of the mains I had, but then I got tired constantly throwing up on people. And I'm like, yeah, no. I found some other killers to sate my interests. Legion is easy to play against in theory, but I always get wrecked by them. Skull Merchant top tier, easy. Okay, don't worry, we'll talk about Skull Merchant when we get to her, which is quite a distance. But anyways, back to Plague. So, Plague is a bit of an interesting case. Not a fan of Legion. For me, they're not very active on the survivor side due to the hit and run power, and he isn't scary compared to the other killers, so I don't feel immersed when going against him. I think the fear when it comes to Legion is more so that they go with the Hannibal Lecter or the... what is it? American Psycho type of fear, where it's more so I am scared of this guy because they are a real-life human being that could end up being a monster. That is... and Dead by Daylight is... you're scaring me, Ducky. But that is the core about Dead by Daylight. It is a hall of fame for every type of horror. So it's not just the slasher horror, it's not just the monster horror, it's even, like, the quieter horror. It's about, like, the scary people that exist in real life that could be anyone. In the case of Plague, I really do like her. She has a lot of interesting gameplay to her, and it is so funny when she takes Corrupt Purge, because it's now like my team kind of has a mental boom and they're like, oh, poop. And no one knows how to play against Plague anymore. Because most of the time she's just a basic M1 killer. But then you get that one player who decides, yeah, no, I'm just going to cleanse. Because, haha, XD. I'm still not a fan, but I can live with them. Yeah, fair enough, Dead by Daylight player. Also, hi, Ducky. Hi, Ducky. Hi, Divinity. Hi, Dead by Daylight player. Sorry if I didn't say hello beforehand. I'm a little bit preoccupied talking about my tier list. Like the Purge or the Strangers, just regular people who change when night falls. Exactly. But that is exactly what, okay, there we go. That is exactly what type of horror that Legion is going for, and Skull Merchant, and other killers. But we'll get to them. In the case of Plague, I really like playing against Plague, because most of the time she is just an M1 killer, who, if you understand how to play against her and you don't just take the fountains like a genius, then she's not gonna have a fun time unless she's running Apple add-ons. But when she takes the Corrupt Purge, the game changes in such a way that it turns on its head. And I love when games go like that, because it's like I have to think completely differently now compared to other killers. Because in the end, when I play against a Bubba, I'm going to be like, okay, it's pretty much the same gameplay unless he pulls out the no-ed, but it's Bubba, he always has the no-ed. I feel the same way, DBD player. I sometimes run a full-on healing build, and then Plague is like, I'm about to ruin this man's whole career. But yeah, in the end, I really like Plague, though. Plague needs her own chase music already. I feel like at this point it's iconic that she just has the regular chase music. If they did end up making a chase music for her, I would be happy with it, but it's sad at the same time. Because she's had the base chase theme for so long. I meant to say different, not difficulty. Yeah, fair enough. I do like the different gameplay that Plague has. The reason why I don't put her at my all-time favorites is just because most of the time you get a team that just don't understand how she works. And because of that, they end up giving her complete fountain control, and then she's just like, well, I can now camp this guy on hook because I have 5 fountains near the guy that I can swallow. Have fun, team! Alright. Ghostface, he's average. I don't really feel anything for Ghostface. He's just an M1 killer who has some light stealth. Actually, no. He has proper stealth. Like, I would find him an enjoyable killer. The problem is his stupid reveal mechanics. Plague players are so rare, that's why she's fun for me. Something different from the norm. Exactly, it's why I like a lot of the atypical killers in the game, because I rarely see them, and when I do, I cannot help but smile. It's why I love Piggy, it's why I like Legion, and no, Legion is quite popular still. It's why I like Doc, though. Anyways, back to Ghostface. At the end of the day, he's just a basic M1 killer. He's going to hit you with a knife. The threat is more so that he stalks you, but at the same time, you can just look at him, and he loses a power. The problem is, looking at him, it does not work half the time. And the game is just like, no, you're not looking at him, actually. Have a good night, Daryl.
Partners.com is now in Canada, and with instant alerts, get no...
But for Pete's sake. Shut up, bozo. Okay. But yeah, good night, Beryl. Thank you for stopping by. Alright, but back to Ghostface. At the end of the day, he's just a basic M1 killer. Like, there are some stealth elements that allow him to show skill expression. Myers at the bottom is criminal. I don't like him because of Tombstone. I don't like him because of the mirror add-ons. I don't like the tuft of hair add-on that just gives him perma tier 3, which allows him to camp anyone. Leary's, even with Leary's, Myers is there too. That's another reason I don't like Myers. But in the case of Ghostface, like, there are some things you can do against him. If you play as a team, then you can body block for your teammates, and maybe you can try and break him out of power and force a hit so you lose the stack of the stock. But at the end of the day, he's pretty average. There's nothing exciting about a Ghostface game. But at the same time, it's not as bad as the ones I put down here. Demo. I feel nothing for Demo. I really feel just a empty, hollow shell towards Demo. Even back when he was a legacy killer and everyone's like, oh my goodness, it's a Demo! It's going to be so much fun to play against him! I look at Demo and I'm like, ugh! Because the problem I have with Demo is that he was the initial 3-gen killer. Because every single time I played against a Demo, he would place his stupid portal on the floor, teleport to the 3 closest generators, and he would just lock them down. And it was always on Dead Dog Saloon. I have no idea why, it was always just Dead Dog. And that is why Dead Dog has just been dead to me. I do not like that map. And then, of course, there's the fact that his hitbox for the shred is about the size of a truck. Which is another problem I have with another killer, which I'll talk about later. But in the case of Demo, like, there can be some fun games. Like, Demo can have some cute games. There can be some cute demos. But a lot of the demos I play against are just really obnoxious. And that's the big reason why, is mostly just bias, because a lot of demos I play against, they are the most sweaty, toxic comp players I've ever met. And I do not know why. I don't know why people get the cute demos and I just get the comp demo. Regardless though, I do like the demo nod, please. That is a cute emote. And that is why I keep him an average and not the greatest. Okay. Oni. I love Oni. If I had any killer in this entire game I would play against 24/7, I would have Oni all the way up there. Because Oni is a killer who, I don't know why, but every Oni player I go up against is just so noble. Like, it's so weird because Oni is a character in lore to be angry. He is someone who just constantly is just being angry all the time, but he's noble. And his player base are exactly like that. And that is why I love him so much. Because you need to hit people to get your power. And I get it. If you don't like your teammates feeding Oni the blood, I get you not liking playing against him. But when I play against the Oni, they are so noble. And he is just... it is chef's kiss. And every single time that you dodge a strike from Oni's club, it is so much fun. Like, it's so close, and the hitbox is so tight compared to the truck that is Demo. I believe Demo is a little overrated. He has a zoning power and can camp a few close gens. Exactly my problem with him, Dead by Daylight player. For Pete's sake, not another commercial. Spotify really doesn't like me today. Oni is terrifying. I don't care if they are sweater or not. The character alone scares me. If Oni got blood for slapping survivors with endurance that nobility may vanish. You know what? Fair enough, Ducky. But I still really like Oni because he is... I don't know why, but every Oni player I play against, I never get mad at them. Because none of them are toxic. None of them are sweat fests. They play in such a nice way that I'm like, at the end of the day, that was a really fun match. And I enjoyed every moment of it. Most of these cosmetics kind of suck. I agree with you, Ducky. I feel bad for Oni. Like, he has one or two good ones, but he could have a little bit better. Armor Titan skin. I'm not a big fan. Or I don't know anything about Attack on Titan, but I know that a lot of people really liked the AOT crossover. So respectable. Alright. Music back again. Okay, Deathslinger. I think it's an enjoyable experience. Deathslinger is a bit like Huntress, where if you go up against a really good Deathslinger player, you will get hit and you are questioning reality. You wonder, how on earth did I get hit? And then you realize he hit you through the smallest little crack. And somehow you end up realizing, holy cow, this man has like 5k hours or watched so much YouTube content on Deathslinger that he has become a pro. There are some Deathslingers out there who are pretty annoying, but I rarely find them. I just really like playing against Deathslinger. Like, sometimes if I play against him too much, I'm like, it's another Deathslinger, oh well. But like, the spear is so much tighter as a hitbox compared to the volleyball that is the Huntress Hatchet, that I end up going like, oh yeah, I cannot wait to dodge that harpoon, and it'll feel so skillful when I do. Most of the Onis I face against are always toxic and sweaty. I guess it's also region-based Dead by Daylight player. Like, I know that there are a lot of people that say that Legion is popular, but I rarely see a Legion. And when I do, I can't help but smile, because I'm like, oh my goodness, a Legion? Oh, I'm gonna have a fun time. You guys see Onis in your matches? I do Divinity every once in a while. I see them more than Bubba, and Freddy, and Myers, and I'm thankful for that. Let's see. I love Deathslinger, especially good ones. He scares me whenever he aims his harpoon gun thingy. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of cowboys. I think that it's just an overdone, generic aesthetic. But the Yeehaw Man of Dead by Daylight is here, and I love him. Don't worry, Divinity. Everyone is garbage at Deathslinger. Then there's the person who has 10k hours purely on Deathslinger, and you're like, oh. Alright, Pyramid Head. I think it's an enjoyable experience. I know some people like to complain about Pyramid Head, say he's uncannerable. Some people say he's the most unfun killer in the game. When you dodge he's Torment, like the shred that he does, it is so clutch. Like, it is so nice. And I respect people who actually play this killer, because he is so clunky to play against, or play as. Most of the killers I see are Weskers and Legion, and that's kind of surprising to hear. That makes sense, though. I got 10k hours on Battlefield and Call of Duty. But yeah, in the case of Pyramid Head, like, I really like playing against him, but I feel so bad for his players, because they have to deal with so much jank on the character. And for some bizarre reason, the developers don't do anything with him. And the reason why he isn't up here is because when you play against one Pyramid Head, you've played against all of them, really. There isn't a lot of variety when it comes to builds for Pyramid Heads. They tend to just run, like, the same 4 perks over and over again. But you can't really blame them, because they don't have any add-ons. They only have range add-ons and that's it. There's not much you can do. Alright. I don't like Blight. You know what? I was thinking I would be charitable and put him in not the greatest, but no. I hate Blight. I actually have a mental boom the moment I see a Blight player. Pyramid Head players using 3 add-ons you can't launch Punishment of the Damned upstairs. Yep. Very fun. I love Pyramid Head, he's such a cool character, but I hate that he has an easier time to tunnel a survivor compared to most killers. That is a big reason why I didn't put him at my all-time favorites. Because there are some who understand, yeah, I don't really like the hyper tunnel. But we're gonna talk about another character who loves the hyper tunnel. Alright, let's see. Finally someone speaking the truth about Blight. Okay, this is the big reason I do not like Blight. Every single Blight player I have ever played against runs quad slowdown. Sometimes there's the odd one that ran Shadowborn or Shadowborn before it got reworked. And yeah, no. Like, Blight is just... And he has so many good add-ons. And even with the add-on pass, behavior didn't nerf him. I made this joke in my Skull Merchant video, where I literally said the initial Skull Merchant rework where she got the haste boost manipulator. That was as much of a rework to Skull Merchant as the add-on Blight, or the add-on pass on Blight was a nerf. Because the add-on pass on Blight was not a nerf. Because they keep reworking every single add-on that they changed. Every single patch. It's like, why don't you let it die? Just leave it alone. Kick it to the curb already. It's been meta for like 3 years now. I like base kit Blight, but most of them run busted add-ons with a slowdown perks, with 4 slowdown perks, which isn't very fun. That's my big problem. Every single time you play against a Blight, it's Blighted Rat, Blighted Crow, sometimes the new Blighted Tag, sometimes the new Compound 33. Like, it's always the same thing. And every single time, they love to hypertunnel. Like, Blight players play the game like it is DBD League, DBD Comp, whatever. They play so sweaty. And even when they don't use their power, I just mental boom, because I do not like this killer. It is so unfun playing against him. There is one change I'd give to Blight. Has to wait 10 seconds for his power to recharge at the start of a trial. Exactly. Like, it is so weird that every other killer who could utilize Lethal Pursuer to its fullest doesn't have a cooldown on it. But Blight is like, yeah, no, I get 5 charges, I can be on the other side of the map in 3 seconds tops. Watch, I now just downed that guy. Oh! Now I get to down the other guy because of barbecue. Oh, that guy got unhooked. Back on the floor you go. Haha, XD. I just remembered the last time I played against Oni, he went for me even when I lost chase with him. For that reason, behavior has decided to nerf the pig. Honestly, fair enough. deserved. Clearly Pig was way too OP. Alright. But yeah, I just do not like Blight, because every single time I get a Blight game, I do not think I'll ever have a fun time. Because they will run Quad Slowdown, Grim Embrace Deadman Switch, Pop Pain Res, and then they'll run the busted add-ons that got reworked again because Behavior are just like, yeah, no, we want to rework this add-on to be better than before. Haha, XD. How about removing auras during a rush? Eesh. I'm sure a lot of Blight players will complain about it, and there's enough counterplay towards aura reading, especially with distortion. Alright, let's get off of Blight, because I do not like talking about this garbage can of a character. Let's talk about a character I do like. I like Twins. Twins are such a oddity of a killer. Let them complain. No, I'm done with my complaints for now. Back to Twins, though. I like them. They're such an oddity of a killer, because it's like, you never see them, and when you do, they crush a team, and it's just like, it's so weird. No, you can't call it a baby, else Behavior will remove you from their subreddit. But in the case of Twins, they're such an oddity, because if you understand how she works and how to counteract her, she feels so pathetic. I feel bad for Twins. But in the case of a good Twins player, they can crush you. Like, you have to hope and pray that your team does not crumble, or they don't fold like a table the moment they see Twins. And the problem is, I would love to play against Twins more. The problem is, no one plays as Twins. Except 2 people in the whole world. And one of them is in Europe, and the other one might be in Europe too. I don't know where Linksy is from. Regardless, though, when I play against the Twins, I am happy, because I get to learn something new. I do not like Trickster. I think Trickster, for the most part, is pretty meh. I've tried to rework the Twins before. Plain and simple, everything about them is awkward. What good Twins player? Has anyone seen them? Yes, it's Linksy and Pixelbush. If you want to see them, they have YouTube videos and stream. So have fun in the morning or whenever they appear. Back to Trickster, though. I do not like Trickster. Like, Trickster is so boring as a killer. Because it's so weird, because he shares so much logic with Deathslinger and Huntress, where it's like, if you are skilled as the killer, you can land some of the sickest shots, but it doesn't matter, because you have to land 8 knives. And for those players, it's like, why do I even bother trying to cross-map someone? Because they're going to stand behind a barrel, and I won't be able to hit them. And then you walk in front of someone who's in a dead zone and they get literally thrown into the floor. What's so bad about the 8-knife special? The problem is that for the Trickster player, it's boring, because if the guy goes behind a wall, he can't do anything about it. For the Survivor, if they get into a dead zone, they get macheted to death. Like, and with the rework, it's so weird, because Behavior they were cooking. They had a plan with Trickster. They went like, okay, people don't like playing against Trickster because he feels clunky. He feels annoying to play against. He has problems with his base kit. He feels very add-on reliant. Okay, bet. And then one person at the dev team just decided, yeah, I'm going to make them 115 to remove distance as a counterplay. I'm going to make main event 8 knives requirement instead of 30 or whatever it was before. So now you can just machine gun people 24/7. And then when it came to the PTB, everyone realized, holy cow, he is the 3rd best killer in the game. It's not because of his power being good, it's because he's overtuned. And then the devs nerfed him, and he became a garbage killer. He was worse than before. And now he's in this odd state where it's like, I don't really like Trickster, because it's like, it's boring getting pelted by the 8 knives, but at the same time, if you try to buff him more or update him more, he's going to just break the game again. It's just such a shame, too, because Trickster is that Hannibal Lecter or the American Psycho killer, like Legion, where he's this icon that everyone loves, but then you realize that he's a monster in the dark. And it is such a shame, because I think Trickster had such a amazing potential to be a popular killer. And a good killer too with the rework. But somehow Behavior messed it up. But then against Behavior, so that's to be expected. Trickster is a very awkward, boring, and clunky killer. It doesn't feel good facing against him. It doesn't feel playing as him either. I will admit that. He feels very clunky. The reason why he's not down here, though, is because there are the good Trickster players where they hit you through a tiny crack in Killer Shack, and then you're just like, holy cow, that was actually pretty epic. Trickster comes with a built-in anti-dead hard mechanic too. It's called I totally meant to throw that knife into the dirt to counter your dead hard. I totally didn't go get hit with weapon bloom. True, true. Clearly he has a built-in anti-dead hard tool. Just like Skull Merchant, just like Legion, just like Deathslinger. Trickster just has to go for it in a bit of a more goofy way. You gotta get his skins though, like what? You gotta like his skins though, like wow. I have to agree though, when it comes to cosmetics, Trickster, he, as the hip kids would say, he's eating. Like he is rocking the cosmetics department. Like the people who make cosmetics for him, they have a lot of fun making cosmetics for him. And it's such a shame too, because when you see a new cosmetic, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get 2 Trickster games today, aren't I? Alright. I think this one is very obvious. I love Nemi. We love Nemo. Nemi is everyone's favorite best friend, because he is so reliable as a killer.
A new career path?
For Pete's sake, Spotify.
Skilling.
Okay. In a cosmetic competition, Trickster only gets beat up by Dredge. True, true, but we'll talk about Dredge in a moment. When it comes to Nemi, though, I love playing against Nemesis, because he is always in the chase. When you Stars! True. Nemi is always just constantly chasing. He has some goofy builds which can be malicious, but there's nothing unstable about Nemi. At the end of the day, when you get a Nemi game, you smile. Because you realize he's going to be doing one thing and one thing only, and that is chasing people. And it is going to be so much fun playing against him, especially if you understand how his hitbox works. And trust me, the tentacle does have a hitbox. It's just a really, really weird, misshapen Kit Kat. Nemesis players hearing unhooked notification. Very true. I think Nemi is the only killer where people are just like, you know what? Getting tunneled by Nemi is actually pretty goofy. Because it's that tiny little head with that giant body and the giant shoes. And it's why you can't run an undetectable build on Nemi, because you just hear the stomping of his boots. It's so funny. I like Nemi. The gameplay involved is very unpredictable and it's surprising whenever something happens. Very true. I really like Nemi, though. Alright. Give me a moment. Hold on one moment. There we go. I'll be right back. I just need to get something to drink because I'm starting to get parched. Okay, I am back. Okay, what were you talking about? Nemesis Tentacle has a lingering hitbox that can drag. It's unbelievably strange. It is really goofy. But when you understand how it works, he ends up being pretty easy to deal with. There are the goofy hitboxes, though, where it's just like, how on earth did they hit you? Let's see. Nemi... I'm not going to say that Divinity, but eh. Okay. Skull Merchant, my least favorite killer. Oh, don't worry, Dead by Daylight player. We are getting to Skull Merchant. She is on the horizon as we speak. But not the killer I'd remove from the game. That goes to Freddy. Yeah, fair enough. Freddy has potential to be cool. Eesh. Like, if it was Freddy before, from, like, Skull Merchant is so bland and boring. Eesh. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Let's continue on. Mr. Pinhead. Pinhead Larry. I think he's pretty average. I know a lot of people say that Pinhead is the most balanced killer when it comes to base kit wise, and I will agree. Like, when you think about any killer in the game, Skull Merchant is 60 meters away from your position, rapidly approaching. If she's running Rapid Brutality, then she is rapidly approaching. But in the case of Pinhead, yeah, his base kit is pretty balanced. I can agree to that. Don't you dare, Ducky. I see the box. Don't you dare. Rolling! Also, hi, Rolling. Nice to see you. But don't you dare! Okay. So, base kit-wise, I think that... Let's get original Freddy, then okay, remove Skull Merchant, but until then... And I'm going to be on this hill? Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Okay. But, like, no killer will ever be removed. Not on my watch, okay? I love every single one of these killers individually. I will cherish them. Except for Blight. Blight can be deleted. I don't care about them. The COD players will complain, but they can go to Spirit and Nurse. They'll be fine. Don't you dare, Ducky! Divinity, not you too! Okay, I'm not gonna look at chat for, like, 30 seconds. Okay. So when it comes to Pinhead, base kit-wise, he's okay. Like, balance-wise, he doesn't really need any changes that are super serious. Add-ons are a bit... There are some mean, malicious add-ons. I do not like Engineer's Fang. Weirdly enough, whenever I see a Pinhead wearing the Chatterer skin, they always, and I mean this, always run Engineer's Fang. Is this the same for anyone else? Like, they see a Chatterer, and you immediately realize, oh, for Pete's sake, it's an Engineer Fang Pinhead. Divinity, don't you dare. Also, Rolling, I already talked about my problems with Billy. It's mostly just, like, I don't like back-revving Billy players, and even before the rework, I was never a big fan of just the gameplay of, oh, I rev the chainsaw, I am now going to run over a guy, haha! Like, I get the appeal. He's just not for me. I find it pretty rare for a Pinhead to actually teleport to his box. It's because if the Pinhead is close enough, he'll use the chain in order to get the, He will try and use the chain to stop the solving animation, and then he wants to get the chain hunt going. But most of the time, if they are preoccupied with something else, they won't go for the teleport. Like, if they need the chase, then they will go for the teleport. I like the Chatterer's Tooth add-on, it's so fun. Isn't the Chatterer's Tooth the undetectable one? I find NG Fang and Chatterer's Tooth make a good combo. I do not like NG Fang. I think it is such a boring add-on. Just losing a health state because haha XD. Because I hit you with a chain and now... but then again, to each his own. If you can dodge the chains reliably, then fair enough. I can understand the gameplay. But I'm just not the biggest fan of Engineer's Fang, especially considering the people who run it are people with a Chatterer skin, and they are very malicious in how they play. Which is why I put them in average. I also just don't like Hinder as a status effect. And Pinhead is a killer who has Hinder, which makes me go like, When's the last time anyone has seen an artist? I honestly can't remember. Me too. I wish I saw more artists, but we'll talk about her. And actually, we're gonna talk about her now. Get up there, Carmina. I love Artist. Artist is one of my mains, so I understand how Artist works. Chatterer's Tooth is the undetectable add-on. I find it very fun to play with and to face against. It's, to be honest, I don't see enough Chatterer's Tooth, but when it does happen, I will admit it is fun. Now, on to Artist. I love Artist. She is so much fun to play against. When it's the anti-loop Artist where they just plop a bird down at a window or a pallet, and then they're like, I'm going to go to the next loop the guy runs to and plop another bird down, or they run Matthias's baby shoes, then yeah, they're pretty boring. But when it's the Artist who I really like, when they go for the cross map, when they are able to down 2 people at the same time, that is so sick. No other killer, in my opinion, is as cool as Artist. And it is such a shame, because every single time I play against an Artist player, none of them are good. Because Artist has a simple-to-learn kit, but it is so hard to master. It's just like Plague and Oni, where it's just like, if you understand how they work, and you can get the best of the best out of this killer, she will crush you and fold you like a table. But if you are playing her and you have no idea what's going on, then she will feel very boring and very underwhelming. Another guy who doesn't like Hindered as an effect for powers. I talked about it in my video, Ducky, with the Skull Merchant video I just made. Did you not know this? What I will say is that every time I play Artist, I win. Yeah, to be expected, considering there aren't a lot of good artists, Divinity. Let's see. I'm not a fan of Artists, whether it's the anti-loop or the cross map, I'm not having fun. Fair enough, Dead by Daylight player. I'm just a really big fan of the Artist cross-mapping playstyle, because it's like Huntress, but you have to predict so much with... You have to understand how the, Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna skip the ads for now. Oh, hi, Cyanide. It's a pleasure seeing you here. I didn't watch the vid because Outlast Trials grinding. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. But I did talk about Hinder and Haste manipulators in there, Ducky. If you guys haven't watched my video on the Skull Merchant, or re-examining the Skull Merchant rework yet, I would highly recommend watching it. It talks a lot about how the killer works with the rework, my personal thoughts on what could be changed, what was good about the rework, what was bad, all of that jazz. I will not cover it here because you will be spoiled, and I do not want to spoil that fun editing stuff. Also, speaking about that video, the 2 Skull Merchant mains that I know of on this Forsaken planet actually watched my video and reacted to it. Pixel Bush and the Jane Romero. It was so hecking awesome. When I hold on. I need to find it. Give me a moment real quick. Her chase music is also awesome though. It's easily one of my top 5 behind Clown, Spirit, and Slinger. Fair enough, fair enough. When I make a killer, I always try to not add Hinder nor Haste into their power. They are very boring effects, and add more to and act more as a band-aid instead of an actual power. You know what? Fair enough. Haste and Hinder is such a weird status effect that I do not like either of them. I like Haste because, you know, haha, funny businesswoman, go burr. But yeah, it does feel more like band-aid fixes, unless it is utilized in a much more healthier way. Okay. here it is. So, when I uploaded the video, I made a Twitter post. I said, look, Pixel Bush and Jane is live. I made a thing mentioning you two in it. In all seriousness, though, I would greatly appreciate if you consider watching and telling me your thoughts. The Skull Merchant hive mind must grow, and we must remove the chess. And, funnily enough, the Jane Romero show ended up reacting and saying, if you're okay with it, I can watch it today live on stream and react to it live. I was sadly not watching the stream. I watched the VODs, and I got to understand a lot more from their perspective. There were a lot of things that I did which she agreed with, a few things that she disagreed with. But at the end of the day, I was pretty happy, because I made her laugh at a few of the jokes that I made, which was pretty hecking awesome. And then we got Pixel Bush. The Chad who understands this killer and has such a deep obsession with her that no one else will ever beat him. And it was so awesome seeing how he replied to every point of detail that I made. And the fact that he said my sense of humor and my editing was fantastic was so cool. I honestly love Pixel Bush and Jane. They are so nice content creators. And they always answer a lot of the questions that I have. I don't watch Pixel's streams much though, mostly because I never catch them. I should actually watch their streams more often. Alright. Back to the tier list though. Hi again, Rolling. If you ever want to make a video on reworking the Skull Merchant, hit me up. I wasted sanity, you don't have to. Don't worry, I already talked about what changes I would do with Skull Merchant. Spoilers, it is very minor changes. I think that for the most part, Skull Merchant's base kit is very solid. Now, back to Onryo. I don't know. Hold on. Onryo is such a weird mismatch of a character because she's been reworked twice, maybe 3 times even. I've lost count. Like, let's consider each iteration, and then I'll go from there. Back then, I used to love going against Onryo. She had such a fun gameplay style. The slugging condemn Onryo I would see every once in a while, and I'm like, okay, that's really annoying. But the Onryos that went for the hit and run and chase playstyles, they were fun. I liked playing against Onryo. Then she got reworked to be more focused on Condemn, and I felt pretty average about her afterwards. I'm just like, She's just like, the Condemn, if you have a team that don't pick up a tape, it's just like, ugh. Great, now my team gets condemned because they don't understand how she works. But then again, to be fair, she got reworked like a month ago, so no one knows what's going on. And then she got reworked again. And now, I don't even know what's going on. You know what? She's enjoyable. Whenever I go against an Onryo, I have a fun time. It's not the greatest, but most of the time, Onryo is chill for me. There's never a really malicious Onryo. None of them go for a really hyper-condemn playstyle like before. The counterplay is still holding a tape hostage. Yeah, I mean, it kind of fits more with her character of holding the tape, I guess. But It acts more like a safety blanket. Scary woman approaches. Ah, I know. She's getting closer. Sadako is the Symmetra of DBD. Get reworked every patch and nobody knows what to do against her. Honestly, true, Ducky. I used to play a lot of Overwatch, and Symmetra was that weird character where I'm just like, what on earth is the developers doing? Like, do they realize what's going on with the character? Because it feels like they have no idea what to do. Only one I know who goes hard condemned is One Pump Willie. I've played against One Pump before, actually. I played against his Singularity and... who else? Trying to remember who else it was. I think... I don't remember the other killer I went against with One Pump. Is this live? Yes, it is, Chatsy. Hello, how are you? Counterplay is DC. No, don't be like Divinity. I hate players who are like that. I understand it, but I do not like them regardless. I think his other killer was Xeno. And each time that I played against, One Pump, I always have 3 teammates that just never work on gens. I'm like, what are people doing? Like, are they allergic to the generator? Hello? Am I the only one doing anything? And each time that happens, I see it's One Pump as the killer. I'm just like, for Pete's sake, it's the One Pump Willy curse. Let's see. It's pre-recorded. Exactly. This is a pre-recorded message, Chatsy and Rolling. I have no idea who you are. I am using my mind to read the future. Let's see. I'd say to rip off the bandage and remove her ability to kill survivors outright. It's obvious they can't work around it. I mean, that removes her identity, though, because the identity of Onryo is that 7 days you watch the tape, you die. Do you have any P100? No, I do not. However, I am somewhat close-ish. Hold on. Let's go to Dead by Daylight real quick. My highest prestige rated killer is Skull Merchant, prestige 14. And then for Survivor, which is my most, the side that I play in more commonly, but I do play killer very frequently too, would be Cheryl, Yoichi, and Hattie. Hattie, who is at prestige 36. Sadako was so bad on release, stopped playing Dead by Daylight for a year. I personally liked pre-rework Sadako, but I get what you mean. Like, the hyper-condemned slug Sadako was really boring. I never really went against that, so I can understand it being annoying, but I don't understand the trauma that was, Slug Sadako. Okay. So, I'll just put an enjoyable experience and call it there. Dredge. I like Dredge. I don't know why, but when I see I am up against a Dredge, I just smile. Because it is such a fun time when I go against a Dredge. Like, I feel sad for Dredge because it's a bit of a Pyramid Head dilemma, where it's always the same perks because there's not really much he can do when it comes to build variety outside of the Shaman build, which is why I personally like to run. Onryo isn't all that bad in my opinion. Her main's Condemn powers is weak, and she doesn't have any anti-loop powers. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Dead by Daylight player. Behavior had been very strict with the Condemn, and I am very proud of that. Like, they have, I think that her 3rd or 4th rework, whatever it is, has actually been very stable, and Behavior finally found a way to keep the Condemn feeling like an active threat, but not just cosmetic. I love Dredge, it's so terrifying. I scream whenever he teleports next to me. Honestly, that's the big reason why I like Dredge, because he is just like Oni, he's like Plague, he's like Artist, where it changes the game and it flips the script the moment Nightfall hits. I'm a P100 Dredge, I need my Malthinker Skull, I need my Hattie's Calendar. Yep, you need them because Behavior refused to make them partially base kit for some dumb reason. But yeah, Dredge is just fun. Like, I will admit the anti-loop of the Remnant is pretty boring, but if you have a teammate who understands how Dredge works and they see that you need help, they can just run and just snuff the Remnant out. And the skill, that is really cool. I really like it. And the teleporting is very epic. I actually got a kill on a Steve on the pier boat on Swamp by teleporting to a locker when he dropped a pallet, and I managed to hit him over that pallet during Nightfall. It was the sickest play I ever did in my life, and I will never be able to top that. The trauma. Huh? Everything okay? Okay, I have no idea what happened, but, yeah. Like, I understand for console players, they have a bit of a tricky time when it comes to Nightfall. It is very malicious for the poor computer screens when or computer and or not PC, computer and TV screens when the light glares on it and you can't see anything during Nightfall. It is a very annoying time. Dredge, Oni, and Deathslinger are the main killers that make me scream out of fear. You know what? Fair enough. I don't really scream from anything outside of, like, hag jump scare. I just more so enjoy the gameplay. Like, if they are creepy, that's an added plus. But I am someone who personally likes gameplay and what players can do with it. Speaking about gameplay, we have everyone's favorite Blondie. I'm gonna sit on this one for a bit. Whiskers. Yeah, no. He goes all the way down there. Actually, hold on. He doesn't belong there. He, no, not that one. There we go. Ah, no! There we go. It's Wescan time. Please, no. Okay. This is my personal problem with Wesker. Do I hate his gameplay? You almost have the unknown too. Okay, let me explain. When it comes to gameplay, I am actually perfectly fine with Wesker. In fact, I think his gameplay is pretty fun. I like dodging the Ouroboros stash. I think that gameplay is pretty nifty. Using a window to abuse the living daylights of how he functions is pretty epic. But when he hooks you and you are infected with the Ouroboros, and you get unhooked, and you hear that terror radius growing bigger, you begin to cry because you realize you are on a 20-second timer where you're going to get slowed by 8% and you can't do anything about it. Because, haha, XD, I infected you like 20 minutes ago, but now you're going to be slowed by 8% and now I can just M1 you. And then there are the constant bugs that still exist in Wesker's Kid. When you drop a pallet and he dashes, and he just sucks you from the other side of the pallet and slams you on the pallet you dropped. I want to rip my hair out when that happens. I do not know why it happens. It could be a ping diff, which would be normal, because every Wesker plays on McDonald's ping. And then there is his player base, and this is the big reason why I do not like Wesker. For some weird reason, Wesker is a combination of Nurse, Blight, Spirit, and some other comp killer in the game. He is so ego-inflated that every single Wesker player feels like, oh, I can get away with whatever playstyle I want. And I am perfectly fine with it. I can tunnel, I can camp, I can 3-gen, I can do the most malicious stuff under the planet, and no one will have a problem with me, because I am playing Wesker. Haha, XD. I love Wesker, though it is annoying facing against him every third match. That is also another problem. He's just everywhere. And I will admit playing against him over and over gets boring, but like I can be fine with it. Like, I understand it. The character's popular. The problem is that he is just so ego-inflated as a character. It's just not fun. The infection should pause when you're being chased. I would personally like it if it paused after you get unhooked for a certain amount of time. Just so that way the hyper tunnel isn't so malicious. Infection doesn't need to hinder. It never needed to. All it could do is just allow him to insta-down, nothing else. Even then, it wouldn't feel like a proper reward for getting the Ouroboros to full infection, because it's like, then the person is like, okay, I can just run around and not have to worry about infecting people. I don't like Wesker because His player base are basically Blight 2.0. Exactly. Also, hi, Tucho. Or Tuchu? I'm trying to say your name. I hope I'm saying it right. Hello, how are you? But yeah, that's my big problem. Wesker's player base are just so ego-inflated that they think that they can get away with any playstyle that they want. They can do whatever they want, and no one will have a problem whatsoever. Haha, XDD. That's my big problem with Wesker. There are some nice Weskers out there, I will admit. But when it comes to Wesker, I just do not like playing against him. Because they are the most weirdest people under the sun that it just creeps me out. Like, it's Blight but worse. I'm good, Tuchu. Thank you for stopping by the way, too. Alright. Now we are on to the Tin Can Man, Mr. Knight. This is a weird one. I don't play against many knights, so I don't know how to feel against him. The diss against Wesker is wild. Listen, Divinity, I have my opinions, and I have opinions warning in the title. You should have been prepared for this. Also, Trickster being second worst is let's see. Second worst tier, generally love playing against the BTS man. You know what? Fair enough. To each his own. I like the Knight's design, but not his gameplay. You know what? That is the best feeling to give tonight, because visually, he is cool. Gameplay-wise, I like the idea, but he is pretty meh. I would say he is just like Trickster, because realistically, he had a cool idea. His visuals were neat. His gameplay was an exceptional idea, but every single Knight player I play against Tunnel like nothing else, and I have no idea why. It is actually so goofy. And I feel bad for the one Knight player that's on Twitter who always constantly begs and pleads the developers to give quality of life feature updates for him. Because I genuinely think this character needs a proper Nurse update, where Nurse used to be kill switched for a month because she had a few game-breaking bugs, and when she came back, she got a full netcode update, where everything about her was just completely patched out, and everything was fine. And then people realized, wow, Nurse is actually easy, and she became the most popular killer in my region, and I got depressed. If Skull Merchant is above Wesker, I'm done. Oh, you are in for a storm, Divinity. Let's see, let's pour one out for the Knight mains of the world, having to deal with the clunkiest killer in the game next to the twins. Nothing about this tin can is smooth. Very true, Ducky. I feel bad for poor Mr. Taros, but I don't really care. Also, I just don't like the guards. Carney, I think, is cute. I love Carney. He is the best ghost in the party. Assassin is a close second. I like him. Jailer, I think Jailer has a different AI in his head. Like, I don't know what goes on with Jailer, but he feels so bad compared to the other two guards, and I do not know what's going on. Knights are just a worse artist, but with a tunneling player base. Very true, very true. For a killer as complicated as the Knight, why on earth does he only use one button to control everything? Just the power button, nothing else. Jailer Laugh gives me strength. You know what? Jailer Laugh is very epic, but he needs something else, because that man is so pathetic, and his AI is not in the right place. Okay, Skull Merchant. The one that you've all been waiting for. Alright, hold on one moment. Sometimes, or rather most times, Knight's power, you can't place it and it won't. I don't know why. It's just because of collision issues, and the developers don't want the killer to break the game. Who's the most buggiest killer in your opinion? Very easily Knight at the moment. Twins is a close second, but considering Twins is getting reworked, we have no idea if she's going to be patched. So I kind of just removed Twins from the list, but she used to be the very top. But Knight is very much the most broken killer when it comes to features, because he's just super clunky. There's so much weird, goofy stuff that goes on with him. Alright, I know a Knight main, he says Jailer is the best. Then he is objectively wrong. I hate to burst your bubble, Ducky. But Carney and Assassin are 10 times better than Jailer. Okay, Skull Merchant. So, if any of you have watched my Skull Merchant video, you will know that I am one of the sad, sad poor saps who ended up falling in love with this character. And I am sad about it because you better not do this. Divinity, this is your punishment for the box joke that you made earlier. He's a P100 knight. Oh, poor Ducky. Your friend is a streamer too. Oh no. I'm sorry, but I do not like Jailer. Okay, Skull Merchant, let's break it. I think she's average. And I know this will shock a lot of people. I know a lot of people will go like, oh, she's not your all-time favorite? She's not in Wesker tier or a tier of her own? What is this? First of all, I am someone who is highly addicted to this killer, and I am very depressed about it. A trap-based killer that makes me bored. She doesn't make me paranoid like Trapper. She doesn't jump scare me like Hag. She doesn't make me feel like I'm being watched like Singularity. Okay, so, context. If any of you have watched my video on the Skull Merchant, or re-examining the Skull Merchant rework, then many of you will know my personal feelings about the rework. What is the word now? TLDR, I think the Skull Merchant rework is good. There were some problems with it, but overall it was pretty okay, especially with what behavior wanted for the rework. Now, when it comes to Skull Merchant, she is such a weird killer, because unlike all of these killers down here, whenever I play against a Skull Merchant, I constantly learn new stuff, because there is so much in her kit that even as a Skull Merchant main who actively likes to play as her, I have no idea what's going on half the time. Because I just constantly learn new things. Like the other day, I learned that the drones have a visual cue to show when they are about to reactivate. And that was the sickest thing that I ever discovered, and I did not know about it. Alright, the ads are going to run, so I'll pause for a little bit for everyone to catch up. Alright, I'm going to pause this for like 1 minute, because I just want people who are getting ads to catch up. I don't want them to lose out on what I'm about to say when it comes to everyone's favorite character. Alright. Is everyone back? Is the ads finally done? Can we get back to talking about it? Okay. And don't worry about it rolling, I understand. Like, it is late at night, people just want to play some games. I was expecting this. So, back to everyone's favorite Chris 3 Jenner. I personally really like Skull Merchant because she has a lot of gameplay when it comes to in chase and out of chase. When you play out of chase, I am someone who actively loves a team-based killer. I think a lot of the killers that you see up here, you will begin to realize a lot of these killers are rewarded from players who do not understand how they work, but the game gets so much harder the moment that teams realize, hey, I should play like an actual teammate and keep my team safe and help in any way possible. Skull Merchant is just like them, because when you are out of chase, you need to hack the drones at certain loops to keep that loop safe. You need to understand that you can crouch walk under the drones, you can play red light, green light with the drones, you can do so many different funny things. And when you play as Skull Merchant, there are so many goofy features that came out from the rework that if another video I will ask you all to watch, if you are interested in, is if you watch Pixel Bush's guide on Skull Merchant. That shows so much of what the killer can do, and shows that she is not just basic, I plop a drone at loop, and now person runs away, XD. Because compared to other killers who just plop power at loop and calls it a day, Skull Merchant is one of the weakest. You can play Artist as that, you can play Dredge like that, you can play... like, who else? You can play Knight like that, to some degree. Like, Clown too. Like, it's just kind of eh. Skull Merchant is the weakest of the bunch, but there are so many unique features, like with the radar changes, you need to understand drone rotations. Like, there are a lot of cool features that exist in Skull Merchant, but the problem is that her player... there are two problems. Player base, when it comes to people who play her, and just typical, like, community views. Alright, let me read the chat real quick. I'll get back on my thoughts with that. She's just Predator cosplay. Man, Divinity, I hate you for saying that. I disagree with the Predator theory, and I thought it was the dumbest joke that the community ever made again. Or made for a character. She can be obnoxious to play against, but she's fun to verse, in my opinion. My opinion too, Tichu. I definitely agree that she's fun to play against when you understand how she works. I put so much dedication into Skull Merchant, I've reworked her backstory, changed her add-ons to fit her backstory, and I've tried to change her tome lore. I feel like the tome lore was actually a lot better than her base lore. Like, I feel like the fundamentals were good with both of the stories, but I think that they pushed a little bit too much with Dark Brazilian manga. Let's see. Low-key Skull Merchant design got me back into Dead by Daylight again. Chatsy. If only I were... like every other thirsty Dead by Daylight streamer. If only I was like them. She's also not fun to face against because she has too many status effects under her base kit, which doesn't feel great. Fair enough. Status effect Merchant can feel very boring to play against. But, yeah, Skull Merchant is pretty much just a spoiled rich kid who adopts her Dead's manga and goes like, oh, this character's cool, I'm going to adopt it because she murders a guy and she thinks, wow, that's sick. And that's her lore pretty much. The very short version of it. But if you look more into it, it's very much like a campy, hostile idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is pretty sick. Her character is goofy looking and not in a fun way like Nemi. Like, I will agree, visual-wise, Skull Merchant that is the biggest problem that I have with Skull Merchant when it comes to her visuals. Skull Merchant visuals are... hold on, let me go... okay, let's just put on the default. Does it dig at the community? A little bit with the joke that I made in my video too. Okay. Let's change it from Brazilian manga to Brazilian comics because Brazilian manga doesn't exist. It's like Chinese spaghetti. I mean, at the same time, you have to realize Brazil has a very popular, or it has a very, it's a very big, like a very big Comic-Con and Japanese player base. Like, there are a lot of Japanese immigrants in Brazil. It's a big reason why Skull Merchant is Brazilian, half Japanese in heritage. Mangas and animes are pretty popular in Brazil. Exactly, Tuchu. Okay, when it comes to visuals, I absolutely hate the mask. I do not get why she bedazzled her face and why it's half. If they made it so it covers like her eyes and it was like a VR tech headset, where it's like, oh, it's for tracking, then I would get it a little bit more. I wouldn't mind if she left design-wise and gameplay-wise. Fair enough, fair enough. To each his own Dead by Daylight player. I have my own feelings about who I would rather removed. Freddy. But Skull Merchant, I get it. But like everything else, I'm kind of okay with. I'm fine with the jumpsuit, I'm fine with the weapon. It's mostly her headpiece. I just don't like the bedazzled mask. Okay. Back to the tier list, though. The reason why Skull Merchant isn't any higher. Like, I know people don't like playing against Skull Merchant. Her mask looks like a Call of Duty skin. It really does, Tuchu. I don't even play COD, but I know exactly what you mean by that. Daddy couldn't get her a better mask. Hey, her daddy left her when she was like 11, okay? She has family trauma. Her dad went to go get a new ink pen and never came back. Her weapon is... Her weapon is cool, though. I like the animations for it. That is one of the cool features I like. That Skull Merchant actually has unique blade wipe animations on many of her weapons. But back to Skull Merchant. If you don't have any clue on how to play against her, she is going to be all the way down here. If you understand how to play against her, she will be like all the way over here. But when you have your teammates who have no idea how to play against her, she is all the way down here again. But personally, I put her over here. Because as long as you have one person on your team, two is even better, but one person who understands how to completely shut down the Skull Merchant, she completely folds like a table. Like, Skull Merchant just completely folds. She has the same problems as every other trap killer. She's like Trapper, she's like Hag, she's similar to Singularity, and we'll talk about that one. But if you understand how to play against her, she will not get much out of you. But if you do not know how to play as her, she is very oppressive to play against. Especially considering that her kit is very bloated. Now, that is my personal feelings. I personally really like Skull Merchant. Let's see. Heading out, nice chatting with you live. Good night. Good night to you, Tucho. Thank you for coming in again. I'm a killer because Daddy left me. It's more so that she took the identity of Skull Merchant and went like, I can use this as an excuse for my self-fulfilling prophecy. Haha, XD. But enough about her lore. I'm pretty much done about Skull Merchant anyways. If you understand how to play against her, she crumbles. And if you understand how to get as much value out of, like, reducing her from getting claw traps, from forcing her into going into a chase with you. Like, I'm going to tell you a sick trick that I'm sure, like, 90% of you don't know. If you crouch walk as Skull Merchant underneath a drone, even with a claw trap, it will not detect you. It will not slow you even. I bet none of you even knew this. It is something I discovered the other day, and I am so happy about it. The Trapper looking at the Skull Merchant's lore. I can do better. Fair enough, Divinity. But yeah, I'm sure many of you did not know this, actually. You can crouch walk under the drones with the claw trap, and the claw trap will not trigger. You will be able to crouch walk underneath the drone, and it will not register you. I am sure that you knew about this, Ducky, but I'm sure that everyone else didn't know about it. Because who knows about it? It's Skull Merchant. All people like to do is complain. And this is where we go back to... I learned that a week ago, didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest. Like, crouch walking underneath the drones is normal. People are starting to understand that. But crouch walking when you have the claw trap on, I'm sure many people don't know about. Also, if you alt F4, you can easy counter Skull Merchant. Divinity, no. Okay. So, the big problem I have with Skull Merchant, the reason why I don't put her any higher is because of two reasons. One, her player base, half of them play like the most malicious idiots under the sun. There are a lot of nice Skull Merchant players. I have played against a decent chunk of Skull Merchant players who are the sweetest people. Like, they play the game and they are happy that they actually got a real-life game. And they're like, oh wow, thank you for the game, it was actually really fun. But then you get the other half, which is the ones that people like to complain about. And they are the tunneling, camping, 3genning, everything malicious Skull Merchant players. And they don't do it because they think, oh, Skull Merchant can easily 3gen still, she can easily camp, she can easily tunnel. No, they do it because they realize she is the perfect scapegoat. They can easily use her for their annoyance needs. They want to annoy people, they pick her because, haha, XD, let's make fun of the killer that everyone likes to make fun of. I'm happy I don't see skull merchants a lot where I'm at. I'm honestly happy that I see more skull merchants than I do, but even then it's like once a week. 3-genning Scully when they don't know I'm doing one of their lockdown gens and I got potential. Oh no, Ducky. You revealed the tech! I even made a guide for how to play against the Skull Merchant before her rework and have the comments where people saying they'd rather DC. Like, that's the big problem with old Skull Merchant. And this is the big problem, and blech. Old Skull Merchant has left such a bad stain on her that a lot of players, can you put Skull Merchant players in a different server, then you wouldn't get to see me do Infinity. I'm sorry, but this is the killer that I play. And this is the big problem. Skull Merchant has such a bad stain on her that when you play a Skull Merchant, I have come up with the theory that you never have a real Skull Merchant game. When you play as Skull Merchant, you either get a actual game where all 4 people try and it's a fun time. You get a game where 1 or 2 people DC, and then you try and give hatch to one of the other 2 players. You have to make the tough choice of who gets hatch. And then there's the last type of game where people just actively troll your game, force you to... They nod their heads, they point at the hook, they just work on a gen after getting hit, and then they proceed to flame you in the chat, and they're just like, why not play one of the other 30 killers XD? And then they proceed to flame you for your killer choice. And I'm sorry. I guess it's my fault for enjoying a character in a video game. I'm sorry I don't like Blight, or Nurse, or Chucky, or Wesker. I'm sorry I don't main the... I'm sorry that I don't like the most popular characters. Because that's the one thing about me. I do not like hypermobility killers. Skull Merchant is someone that I like because you need strategic thinking in drone placement and rotation utilization. And there are so many tricky things in her kit that I like to utilize. Old Skull Merchant left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and she gained a new flavor that isn't as bad but isn't changing to her kit entirely, leaving another bad taste. But even with this one, it's not bad. Like, I think that everyone is just like, oh, Skull Merchant is the spawn of Satan. No, she really isn't. You think that she's bad at tunneling? No, she isn't. Wesker is better at tunneling. Nurse is better at tunneling. Billy's better at tunneling. Blight is better than tunneling. You think that she can still 3-gen? No, not really. If you understand how to play against her and just shut her down, she's not going to have a fun time. Knight still can do a better 3-gen. So can Demo. So can pretty much everyone in the roster with the right perks and mental state. Slow down, people still give up 2 seconds in. You guys do not... Spawn of Satan is Nurse. Very true, Dead by Daylight player. Thank you for understanding my trauma. I hate Nurse. Me too. I've started to warm up to her, but even then, it's just for average nurses. Okay. I've got one reason to like Skull Merchant. Woman. Fair enough, Divinity, fair enough. Okay, I'm done with my rant on Skull Merchant. If you want to learn more, I posted a video literally a day or 2 ago. Pixel watched it, he thought it was pretty epic gamer. Jane watched it, she thought it was a pretty epic gamer moment too. I had someone else react to it. I think... What was his name now? Hold on. Let me look real quick. Trying to find it real quick.
Are you considering a new career path?
Oh, for Pete's sake, Spotify, stop giving me all the commercials. Where is he? Here he is. The fake Bennett. I watched his interview with Pixel, and I thought it was pretty sick. I think his content is actually really nice, and he's a Chucky player too. So if you're interested in his content, go check him out, because he deserves a lot more... He deserves a lot more views. Because he puts a lot of decent work into his videos. I really like him. He has a nice personality. Okay. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Next up, ADHD killer. Yeah, true. Singularity is a very weird case because I don't see them very often. Mechanically, he's the hardest killer to pick up with very low reward, and on top of that, he has a very easy counterplay. I think Singularity is a bit of a weird one for me. And I'm going to talk about him now, because just like Skull Merchant, I find him average. When I play against Singularity, I will admit, just like Skull Merchant, I like to play against him for a team reason. I like farming the EMPs and using it to help my team out. I like going in for body blocks. I like doing everything to disrupt Singularity. But the problem I have with Singularity is that just like Blight, just like Nurse, just like any other comp player, he runs some of the sweatiest perks in the game, and I have no idea what goes on in Singularity's minds. Because some of them are pretty they don't really do well, and fair enough, the killer is very hard. But at the same time, it's just like, this is a very scary Singularity. And you can tell that they are a comp gamer, because they are not playing around. They are throwing hands at you 24/7. And I've played against some Singularities who are very malicious. But I'm gonna leave it at that. If the Singularity players were a little bit nicer... Actually, it's the same problem with Skull Merchant too. Players just don't know how to play against him. And players, if they were nicer, Singularity players, and people knew how to play as them, he would be up here. For Skull Merchant, she would also be up here for me. But they just hang out here. They're holding hands. They are pretty chill together as the two modern trap-based killers. I usually stomp him, but surprisingly lost in a few and was mind blown. Yeah, like, Singularity can crush people. Especially if it's a player who understands how to run him. And also, of course, if you have a team that have no idea how to play against him. Okay. Xenomorph. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of Xeno. I personally think Xeno is just a boring version of Nemi. Because in the case of Nemi, Nemesis has to go using his tentacle in order to level up. He has to use his tentacle in order to level up, to feel like he gets a lot more value. It feels like he constantly evolves during the chase. It feels like an active threat where you have to try and dodge his tentacle whip in order to delay him from becoming more powerful. Xenomorph, at the start of the match, goes through a turret or like a tunnel, gets power in like 5 seconds, pops out, and then hits someone because they went to fetch the flame turret like they are supposed to, and now they get hit. And also, you have to hope and pray as Survivor that your teammates set up the flame turrets and they were not made in China and will not break on impact or just bug out and not break him out of power. And unlike Nemi just runs the goofiest builds, Xenomorph players always just run the same stuff. It's always just very sweat. Xeno fun me Angie because of opinion? Well, it's my opinion, Bozo, so sorry, Divinity. But yeah, I just don't like Xeno. He's just kind of I get players who do like playing against him, but there are times where I get hit by the tail and I'm just like, what on earth hit me and how on earth is that legal? Okay. Everyone's favorite ginger child with a sailor mouth. Turrets are not very strong either, which feels awful. And there's also the fact that Xenomorph has so many add-ons that just counter the turrets, and it's just like, can't you do anything more interesting? Like, a lot of these add-ons just feel bland. Like, they're good, but it's kind of boring. Alright. He's down here too. And I have to explain this one. Can we kick the doll? Yes, you can kick the doll if you want. Okay, now let me explain my feelings about Chucky. If we're talking about old Chucky when he could do cool trick flicks and 360 no-scopes with his slice and dice, he would be over here. I would admit, like, yeah, he's pretty sick. Like, being able to just hit someone and flick is pretty nifty. That's pretty cool. But then behavior, with the logic in their brains, decided, let's nerf the fun thing about Chucky. And they decided, yeah, no. He's just gonna be Scamper Bot. Alright, I'm going to wait just like 30 seconds, because ads are playing again. And I just want us to wait, just in case for anyone who's stuck watching ads. Just so they don't miss out on anything. Actually, let's nerf Chucky by if he misses his slice and dice, we can kick him across the map. You know what? I actually really like that. Can't wait your opinion about the unknown. Oh, we'll talk about the unknown, because just like his name, I have no idea. We're going to explore this one together. Okay. I think we waited long enough. The ads should be done, hopefully. Unless people got like 5, 20, or 20-minute unskippables. Okay. With Chucky, though, he would have been up here if his slice and dice gameplay was still pretty okay. Like, the flicks were pretty cool, and I would go like, yeah, no, that's a decent amount of skill. He's like a Blight player who just flicked his mouse across the room in order to hit me there. So fair enough, he needs to pay for the damages to his mouse and keyboard. But yeah, no, he's all the way down here now. But another reason why he's down there is just because a lot of players just run slicing, or they run this, what is it, Scamper? Yeah, Scamper. They just use Scamper. They run the most basic, generic, like, comp build ever, and they always think they are the most skill-expressive killer under the planet. They're just like, I did so much! I am so epic! I am so much more skill-intensive than Skull Merchant. No. You just vaulted a pallet and hit someone. Legion and Wesker could somewhat do that, but at least with those two, at least with Legion, he has to hit you, and then he has to cancel power and hit you again. Unless, of course, he's stabbed like 4 people, then he can insta-down you. And then in the case of Wesker, you have to be close enough for him to slap you, if you're... But even then. Chucky is definitely okay to go up against, but it's rare to find someone who can actually use his power right. Rolling, I definitely agree. Like, if it's a Chucky who uses slice and dice, it's pretty epic, especially if they somehow manage to get a proper flick. My problem is just that Scamper. Like, every single Chucky player just uses Scamper and calls it a day. And then they're like, I am the most skill-intensive character in the game. Clearly, Skull Merchant is worse. I am far superior. Ha ha ha, XD. And it's just like, this is the most boring gameplay ever. He just vaults a pallet and I die. Like, I can't do anything against him because it's like, I vault a pallet like 20 times, or I run around the pallet. He scampers under it 20 times. His power doesn't go down, and he still hits me. No matter what I do, I'm gonna get hit. In 20 seconds. That's the big reason why I just don't like Chucky. That and also his player base, because they're just miniature versions of Wesker. Now we are on to the unknown. And yeah, His name pretty much sums it up. I have no idea. Like, I've never played against the unknown. I have not played as the unknown. I've only watched videos about the unknown, and from what I have seen, I think he's going to be a very enjoyable experience. He feels like a killer that I can get behind and be like, you know what? I feel like there is some skill involved using the funny UVX. I think that using the teleport at the right time is pretty nifty. He just has a few add-ons that seem a bit bare bones. But there is so much that you can do as the unknown, and the fact that you can't just tightly loop on tiles, else he'll hit you behind a wall because you have if you are weakened, it adds a proper threat that no other killer feels like they have currently. It feels like they got this version of a ranged killer a lot better than the funny BTS man who throws 8 knives and calls it a day. I feel you on that one. If it's about Chucky, yeah, no. I just hate scamper brain Chucky players. It's just super boring. But yeah, I think we are pretty much done with my review on how I feel about playing against each killer in the game. Now, I would like to give my own personal feelings on how I feel about playing every killer in the game. The problem is, though, I don't play every single killer in the game. For various reasons. And I'm going to make it very easy. Oh. Skull Merchant jump scare. Okay. Let's go on a killer who won't completely torment the screen for like 5 eons. Let's go on Grudge for a second. Okay, let me talk about why I won't make it like in the stream. I won't talk about the killers I enjoy playing as. When it comes to playing against, I played against every single killer. I understand the gameplay. I understand their player base. But when it comes to playing as them, there are some killers I have never played. Better watch out for the Levi doing a ritual in the basement once the update comes out, or... Yep. Okay, killers I haven't played. I don't play Hillbilly. The reason I don't play Hillbilly is because I'm not interested in hypermobility killers, first of all. Second of all, I get motion sickness from Hillbilly. I really do not like the head bob that he has when he walks. He goes up and down when not using the chainsaw. And for me, that is very... It's very headache-inducing. It's not a severe motion sickness, but it is very annoying for me. Myers. I don't play Myers. I think that his gameplay is pretty boring. In general, I don't like the stalking killers all too much. Plus, if I play Myers, I'm just gonna get crushed. Because it's like, oh, cool. I stalk someone, I get tier 3, everyone's out of the game. But then I run Tombstone, it's like, ah, well, I'm playing Scummy, have fun. I don't play Bubba, I've just not been interested in his gameplay. I love playing against Bubbles, but I'm not a big fan of Bubbles. Freddy I don't play because he's just boring, there's nothing to him. Simple as that. I don't play Clown much because I just don't like the bottle spam, I just don't like him. I don't play Ghostface all too common because, like I said, I don't like stock killers like Myers, but I do play him every once in a while because I get an itch. I don't play Demo because I just don't like him. I just don't like his gameplay. It's as simple as that. I don't play Oni because I'm afraid I'll get motion sick just like Billy. Plus, his gameplay just never interested me because another hypermobility killer, oh how fun XD. I don't play Blight because Hypermobility Killer XD I don't like. I play a decent chunk of Twins, actually. I should play her more. I don't play Pinhead, I just don't like his gameplay. I don't play Wesker because Hypermobility Killer XD, and I don't want to be like the other 50 billion clones who think there's nothing wrong with him. I don't play Knight all too much because he's... I should probably play a bit more Knight. I think he's a little bit more better than he used to be. Singularity, he's a bit of a headache, or a head turner. Like, I get it, he's very fun to play, it's just that he's so hard. He's such a vastly different character to the stuff I like. And then I don't play Xena, I don't play Chucky, because Hypermobility Killer XD, not fun. And Xena is... If I want to play Xena, I'll just play Nemi, you know, the fun one. Alright, I need to go, I got around 100 to get on COD Zombies. See you later, buddy. Alright, have a good night, Divinity. Thank you for coming into the stream. But speaking about ending, I think we are pretty much done. It is starting to get late here. And I am starting to get a tad bit sleepy. I am someone who does not stream a lot, as many of you suspect. And yeah. As you can see, Sad Cat, who is celebrating his birthday. He's sad because the stream is ending, and then we have Skull Merchant Drone at the bottom here. Have a good night, Chadsy. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the stream. It was honestly a lot of fun. I might stream on YouTube again, especially considering this is where a lot of my audience is, or exist. But yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. It was honestly so much fun talking to all of you. And yeah, that's it. Goodbye!